Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Speed Force Racing for round 20 of the Formula 1 World Championship. There's only 2 rounds left to go. The championship is getting very spicy between Hurricane, Berimi and MDJ. Hurricane took the championship lead after last week's win after MDJ's absence. Can MDJ fight back? He did win the race back in Vegas last season. So can he repeat the same thing? He's got to get those championship points down. And thank you to everybody for participating in the 1 minute silence. That's much appreciated there for everybody. And we're all thinking about you, Oliver, too, as well. How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, doing okay. Literally just after 2 weeks ago, after what's happened, it was quite sad of what's happened, but we moved. Then last week, it could have gone much more better for me. The week after, caught a very nasty cold. That's why I got a bit of a croaky throat at the moment. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But I have been keeping an eye on the action in Division 1. It's been a very action-packed racing in the past couple of weeks, especially in Miami and Portugal. And also in, I think that was the 2 races I'm missing this, yeah, Imola and, no, Miami and Portugal, that's the one, yeah. So basically, good 2 fun races. Yeah, looking forward to the championship fight now. 2 races to go, 3 drivers left. Berimi, MDJ, and Harry Kane. Of course, Red Bull had been confirmed the race the day before this race. Apologies if you can hear my dog. Red Bull are confirmed as constructors champions after a very good mathematics. Red Bull are now constructors champions, and Sonic Hawk starts his lap in the Aston.
Yeah, so we're going to switch on board to Sonic Hawk then in the Aston Martin, as here he is then heading through. Oh, he tapped the wall at the exit of turn 1. A very easy thing to do. You've got to pick up traction as soon as you exit the corner, but unfortunately for Sonic Hawk, hit the wall immediately, so hopefully he hasn't sustained any end plate damage. So we might have to switch on board with Simon. I think Jerry Glass has started his lap on the inters, so we'll go on board with Simon then as he makes his way down into turn 1, 4th gear corner, gradually picking up the throttle on the exits. We head through turn number 2 now, this long sweeping right-hander before the DRS is enabled. I actually forget how long that turn 2 is sometimes, as we enter down straight towards turn 3, reaching speed about 340 kilometers an hour, about 215 miles an hour in those metrics there. As we enter turn 3, they want to use the inside curb and try and get as close to the wall as you can on the exit before making our way down towards this little chicane here, which can catch a lot of people out. It's caught me out a lot. It's very important for the front end to be turned in, because if you don't, it's going to compromise you in this next sequence of quarters. So he did get turn 5 a bit wrong, but managed to recover sometime in turn 6 and 7. Bearing in mind, it is very early doors in this qualifying session, so plenty of time to be found in hand for Simon. As we make our way now towards turn number 11, we go another tricky corner. You arrive there at great speed. It's very easy to lock the rear end and hit the wall there, which he doesn't do. As we enter the Las Vegas Strip, the 1.8 kilometer straight, the 1.2 mile straight, and let's see what his middle sector is for his first lap. Gaining a bit of slipstream on the back of the Aston Martin as a 10.8 in the middle sector. The best I've seen is a 10.4 in the middle sector, so he's doing alright for his first run. Enter turn 13, a high speed, heavy braking zone as he cuts the corner to get a good run out of the corner here as he enters the final corner. No DRS for the straight here as we enter the curve back the main straight here as we make our way towards the final corner now. Let's see what lap time this is as deployment is used and he goes at the top of the timing sheets.
So yeah, so it's all about the top 3 tonight. MDJ 32.7, so not too bad from his point of view. Rogue Smithy about to cross the line any moment now in the Williams. He's tagged the wall of the inside there on the exit. Very easy to do. I think one of the Red Bulls about to come through any moment. It's one of the starts, and that could be Harry Kane. Yes, it is. Rogue Smithy, good lap there for Rogue Smith. You're a tenth slower as Harry Kane, one of the championship leader, is on the track. Ramavage with the 32.2. Very good lap in from in there. What's Harry Kane to Berimi Sports now? Because the Constructors' Championship is now over. That's finished. It's now straight on head-to-head with the Red Bull drivers now. No quarter asked nor given between the two.
Indeed, all out between both Red Bull drivers there, as Harry Kane won't be doing any more favours for his teammates. It's a 1v1 now between the two, as Nordis pops his Aston into P2 there. He could have got a podium back at Portugal, but unfortunately the Red Bull of Harry Kane held him up and allowed him in the clutches of Berimi, and he picked up a 3 second time penalty too. So it's hindered his chance of a podium, and he dropped him down towards P6 at the end of the Grand Prix, where Samid was able to overtake him and claim P5, as Harry Kane went from last to fourth after serving a qualifying ban due to a mistake in Miami. But here we are, no qualifying ban this time, and what an unfortunate event there for MDJ, because I think he had something going on last Tuesday. He would have loved to be there while Harry Kane had a qualifying ban. There's not many opportunities your championship rivals get a qualifying ban and all of a sudden you can't turn up and get a lot of points. So here he is then. It's a 10.1. That's a much better middle sector there as the Haas gets out of the way. And let's see where Harry Kane goes. Simon did a 10.8 and Harry Kane did a 10.1, so that's a 7-10 difference between those two. As he crossed the line now, wow, 32.1.
10 faster than Ramavage there, but also Harry Kane outbreaks himself there with a nice four-wheel drift, like a rally car really going through there. Big shout out to Aidens at the moment, rocking up the P5 in the Merc. Really good job. Hopefully Nolan does not get in the way of everyone else this time on his out and his in lap. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Smoke is about to come through in the Haas. Let's see how he does. Coming through now towards the last corner. My dog is barking, do apologise. But here he comes. Smoke, P11. Hazara is on the lap now in the Alpine with a little bit of a four-wheel drift there on the coming out turn one. One thing I noticed about Las Vegas is a very slippery circuit. Hazara is drifting that Alpine all over the place. I do know from history when it comes to Alpine, there used to be a big rally team back in the day, and Hazara is simply showing the Alpine pedigree back in those days. But it's not designed for drifting; it's designed to stick in the ground. So hopefully Hazara goes through the sphere section all right. A little bit on the first section, but gets the second bit good and proper through there. Nice and tight through for that section of corners there. Nicely done. Kind towards this fast right-handed as well. Lando Norris crashed last year. Very good section of corners there from Hazara. There's a bit of a bump down here before clipping the inside. Do not touch the company outside, otherwise the car will jump and literally throw offline. Now down to this Las Vegas strip. I mean, you can look at that all day and literally see the scenery. It's unbelievable how the strip looks like at night. It's unbelievable. As Hazara now approaching around 220 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes now towards his left-hand corner. A little bit wide through there, but gets the second part absolutely brilliantly through there. Here he comes now towards the final part and is abandoning.
Yeah, Hazara feels that wasn't a good lap time. Plenty of mistakes were made everywhere for Hazara as he approaches the speed at a rate of knots there, but luckily does not hit the wall anywhere. So Hazara will not get a first lap on the board. He's only 2 tenths down in the middle sector in comparison to the pole man of Harry Kane there. But Nordis is 3 tenths up on his previous lap there, so on his current lap. So let's see how he does there. 3 tenths up, could put him a pole there. He's currently doing a long run on a set of soft compound tyres like Harry Kane does as well. So he's copying Harry Kane's style there. And I've also copied it too because I save a set of softs before the race, during or after. Here he is, crossed the line now. It's a 32.0 and he's done 3 laps on those soft compound tyres. So there's plenty of time left to be found for Norris and Harry Kane, who loved going on a long run stint on those soft compound tyres early doors in qualifying, as they save a set later on and can get a feel for the track once they put on that brand new set of the soft compound tyres. Another man that's doing well recently is Langford. He's occasionally getting himself inside the top 10. In Miami he was close as well, and also back at the Portuguese Grand Prix was Langford very close. And also his teammate Ramavaj has a tendency to get podiums all the time. I think he's one of the 4th or 5th highest drivers this season to pick up podiums. He's currently in P3 for the time being. He missed the last 2 races, but when he raced in Qatar, he finished in an excellent P2 after defending from the likes of Laser and a charging Harry Kane on old, degrading medium compound tyres. Here's Langfeld coming through turn 12 then, as he reaches speeds about 360 kilometers an hour, even more before he hits the rev limiter. And now let's see what he does in the middle sector. Is he close towards Harry Kane's time? It's going to be a 10.3, not a bad middle sector. It's the same what Hazara done, but we didn't quite see what Hazara did in the final lap because he abandoned his lap. So let's see what Langfeld does then. He didn't really reach speeds about 360 kilometers an hour, so might have lost a bit of front end there, or top end there for Langfeld to make our way now towards the final corner. He crosses the line now. It's going to be a 31.3 and he goes into P4, just slots in behind his teammate, but crucially ahead of one of the Red Bulls of Berimi. What's Harry Kane doing? In fact, I want to go on board with MDJ. Where is he? Currently in P6 then, so he's still far behind. Is MDJ in 6th place there, and his teammate Rogue Smithy is currently in P8 then, so Williams needs to get a bit of a move on. Actually, Rogue Smithy has hit the wall, and he's lost the car, hit the wall again. He had a good first sector. He was 2.5 tenths up in the first sector. Was how it was Rogue Smithy. But the middle sector, he lost a bit of time due to hitting the wall on the exit there. So let's see what he does in the middle sector now. It's a 10 point. Yeah, it's not good enough. I think he's turned off. Here's the battery. They lost a lot of time during the first and middle sector there. So I think he's going to abandon this lap and potentially enter the pit lane.
It comes the departing world champion of laser. This is about to finish off his Baker. Any minute now, here he comes. P18. He's lost a lot of time. He both things are validated, I think. Yeah, he validated on the last corner. It went a bit too tight there in the final part. Put it through the kink. And Laser, well, that's his lap ruined, to say the least.
It is, unfortunately for Laser, they're just cutting that final corner, trying to get as close to the line as you possibly can, like Portugal when you try and get close as well, like Brazil as well when you try and take the inside line to minimise the distance. So here is the Red Bull as all 20 drivers are in the session.
Ben Remy, 3 tenths faster than his previous lap. That's a purple second sector.
I'm seeing speeds about 350 kilometers an hour at the end of the straight. I've seen speeds about 360, so not the top end speed I was expected at the end of the Las Vegas Strip there. I'm not really seeing anybody orchestrate, but Berimi is in the pit lane there. Did he mess up in 13, 14 and 15? I'm not quite sure. But however, he's entered the pit lane with 5 minutes left to go in this session. There's still plenty of time to be found. Martin, not to mention as well, up to P4 after a few disappointing runs.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Martin, Mr. down in the bottom half of the field, usually around the midfield, is rocking out on the P4 though. I mean, he's lost a lot of time during the lap though. He must have clouted one of the curves or something, but he's doing an absolute stellar job at the Mert, to say the least. Where is one of the championship contenders, Harry Kane? No, not Harry Kane. MDJ is 2 tenths up previously in the first sector, in the second sector. No, first sector, sorry. He goes to second sector. He's about to cross at any second.
And Lord Danny Boy has also got into P7. We don't really see a Ferrari inside the top 10. And 3 tenths up is MDJ on his lap time then. So he's close towards Naldis' best lap time there in P1. We're still yet to await our last week's race winner, Hazara, to see what lap time he could do in the Alpine. Once again in the Alpine, so he's really helping that Alpine team, racking up as many points as he can for the constructors. Very important indeed. Here comes MDJ towards the line. What's it going to be for him? A 32.2. So he goes into P4 just behind Ramovac. I believe that was an Aston Martin who was behind us, but it's the other Aston Martin there, or Sonic Hawk, who's currently doing a good job in P11.
Again.
He's in the pit lane, so he's not really satisfied with his lap times. And also Laser, what's he doing out there? Because he was on his second lap time, but didn't quite hook it up either. So he's down in P19 and on the back foot. With not many minutes left to go in the session, could find himself down there for Laser. It's such a hard track to get absolutely spotted as well. In terms of the curves, carrying the speed of the corners, the braking zone. It's very easy to lose the back end through turn 1 and turn 2. After you carry the speed, pick up the throttle whilst you're turning as well in a corner like turn 2, which is so horrible. But it's a bit of not on the track so far. Let's see what Simon is doing. He's currently going in the pit lane. Langfell is in the pit lane too. MDJ's out there. 4 tenths up as MDJ in the first sector. This is his second lap time on those soft compact tyres. There is a Dustin Martin ahead of us. He needs to get out of the way, but this might benefit MDJ to give him a potential slipstream. That's Nolder, so I'm not quite sure if those two are working together because they're quite close friends at MDJ and Nolder then.
It's not Nolder, mate. That's the other Aston, Sonic Hawk.
Oh, Sonic Hawk is giving MDJ a slipstream then. He's going to reach speeds about 360 kilometers an hour. But is Sonic Hawk going to get out of the way? That's the question. In fact, it doesn't matter because he's 4 seconds down.
On the lap.
He's 4 seconds
on the lap.
He's 4 seconds down, MDJ. It doesn't matter. So I thought he was on a lap time because he said 4 tenths up the first sector, but he's down. Sonic Hawk is on a lap then, so he doesn't have any reason to slow down. But I think they're both going to enter the pit lane anyway.
QR excitement. So yeah, Scopo is now out of the pits now for his first run. Laser's on his on an outlet now. Hazara is as well. Noldis is going to start his lap very shortly. He's just going down the strip. I'll tell you what advantage Harry Kane at the moment for the championship, and also he'll satisfy the Red Bull team at the moment after their constructors win.
It's going to help Aston Martin
it's all about gambling now.
They're scoring a lot of points at the moment, Aston Martin, due to their late season surge. There's a lot of cars currently on their outlaps, as you can see in the first sector on the full map. There's a lot of cars exit the pit lane, while Norris is starting a flying lap headed down into turn 1. He's got currently pole man. There's a car on the left hand side getting that nice out of the way. There is the Ferrari driver as we enter turn 2. Then it's long right hander we go, just gradually eking out on the throttle as we enter this straight. Then as we go towards the first DRS zone, because there isn't a DRS zone on the main straight. Going down into turn number 3 we go. Let's see if we can slow the car down. He scrapes the wall on the exit. Nothing too major, nothing too serious, of course, as we enter turn 4, 5, 6. This is going to be really horrible corners for me. I really do not like these corners. Can't get the front end to turn in. He does use a bit of curb. Might have pushed him slightly off wide there, those curves, but nevertheless he still gets a decent run out of those slow corners. Now on the power immediately, green flags. There's a lot of cars entering this middle sector here. One gets out of the way, that's the second Ferrari as we enter turn number 12. A heavy braking zone. Be prepared to stop here through turn 12. Try not to hit the outside wall as you carry great speed, great momentum down the corner. Pick up a distant toe, but unfortunately the Alpine is too far away. Might get a toe off the Haas in front of us. The last time a Haas was on a lap, this hopefully doesn't get in the way, but he stays in the racing line. So the Haas once again stays in the racing line, but there's plenty of space. But Norris is down in the middle sector by about a few hundreds. Can he recollect that time in the last sector as we enter now these chicanes we go? A decent run, decent exit there for Norris then. He won't pick up a toe on the back of the car ahead of us, as every single driver will start their last flying lap. Here is Norris then making his way towards the line. Can he extend his margin? Yes he can, it's a 31.9.
What a lad there for Norris. Unbelievable stuff. Martin's going on the line now at the Merc. Where's MDJ? He's in the pit. MDJ is not going to complete another lap here in Las Vegas. He's done. So Red Bull might take a little bit of advantage for this. Bear Reeby's on his lap now. So the top guys, apart from MDJ, is going to be doing their laps. Martin, let's see how he gets along in the Mercedes. Currently P5 at the moment. This is one of his best qualifying finishes of the season if he can stay there. Nicely done through this very tricky little section here. Nicely done, squeezes the power, and now he can let that Mercedes fly into the distance. Through Las Vegas. Through he goes. Good decent second, good sector there from Martin. Now coming through. Oh, it was wide, and it's tapped the wall and it's been finished.
However, Langfeld is on currently a good lap time. He's 10.1. That's a handy middle sector there for Langfeld. So he's found even more time. Can Langfeld catapult up towards the top end of the pecking order? Here we go. There through the chicane we go. Nicely done indeed. As Langfeld loses the back on the exit. That's such a tricky corner indeed. Just too early in the throttle, of course, for Langfeld. Has that cost him any time as he makes his way now towards the line? What's he going to be for Langfeld in the Alfa Romeo? It's P4. He lost a lot of time in that final sector, and JDM goes into P13. And
Hurricane is 4/10 up.
And Alpine's entering the pit lane, but like you said, Hurricane is 4/10 away, so we can try and demote Norris off pole. Hezara will start in last place. He will not be up there in qualifying. Bear Reeby's on pole. It's a 31.8. And here comes Hurricane now coming towards the line. Can he beat his own teammate as he crosses the line now? Yes, he can. It's a 31.5. What a mega lap there. It's a Red Bull 1-2, as you want to see in the Championship 5. Simon doing a great job. Look at that. Simon and Ramavaj, the same lap time between those two.
Oh, man.
Don't know how they do it.
Now, brilliant qualifying there for the Red Bulls. Absolutely brilliant. Showing their dominance once more. Harry Kane with an absolute blinder on the lap. Absolutely fantastic. That is 2/10 quicker than his own teammate. Bear Reeby pulled a rabbit out of the hat with that lap. MDJ starting 7th. He'll be disappointed with that. Martin and Aiden starting 8th and 9th. That's pretty decent for them. Ramavaj, Langfeld 5 and 6. Pretty good there from the Alphas.
Yeah, good job again.
This is of course a gambling city. Are these Red Bull drivers going to go all in the sprint race? Because yes, there is a sprint race coming up, so a good 9-lap sprint, and after that will be the main race. 35 laps around this track, 35 to 25 laps around the main race. So we got 2 races in one tonight.
I forgot about the sprint race indeed. So that gives the opportunity towards Laser and Hazara, the guys who qualified down there, and also Rogues Pity too, down in 16th place, out of position, I dare say. It gives those 2 or 3 an opportunity to get back through the field and try and make as many places like Harry Kane did back in Brazil when he picked up a qualifying ban as well. But here he is, Harry Kane on pole by 2 tenths, but can Berimi do anything about it in the sprint race and the feature race? What a great qualifying from Nordis once again. Remember, Nordis and Sammy were fighting for a podium, but those two picked up a penalty during the latter stages of the Grand Prix and therefore gave the podium toward Berimi, and Harry Kane finished in P4. Berimi finished ahead of his teammate in Portugal. But can he do it here again in Las Vegas? It's going to be a bit difficult because Harry Kane started last in Portugal and made his way through the field in 4th place. So we know Harry Kane's got good pace and longevity and good time management around any circuit, does the Norwegian driver. But what can Berimi do in the other Red Bull there? MDJ too, what's he going to do? Not great race in the past few races of MDJ. Missed a race last week in Portugal where Harry Kane picked up that qualifying ban. I bet MDJ would love to race there, knowing that his rival was starting in the back of the field and he could try and make as many places and many points as he can. But he doesn't have that opportunity anymore, so he's going to have to do it in the last 2 races. Talk about the championship, let's read you the standings then. Harry Kane is 11 points ahead of MDJ, and further back 9 points separate MDJ and Berimi. If Berimi can't catch Harry Kane, can he make it a Red Bull 1-2? Laser is in P4, he's quite cemented in P4. Behind him is Dragon in P5 by a long milestone away by 60 points. Ramovac is 6th place. Bearing in mind he hasn't participated full season, and being in P6 after missing quite a few races is outstanding. Like I said, one of the 4th drivers, the highest 4 drivers to pick up a podium this season is Ramovac, 2 points ahead of Martin, who's trying to get back and reclaim P6. Langfeld is in 8th place. Once again, both Alfa Romeos on good form recently, and they're about 51 points away from Mercedes then, so it's very crucial for both Alfa Romeos and both Mercedes try and beat each other. Also, further behind, Nordis is in 9th place. He's currently 8 points behind Langfeld in the championship. Jagermal, who is not participating in this race, is 10th and under threat from Simon behind, who is currently 6 points away. Lord Danny Boy and Mackie are fighting for 12th. 4 points separate those two. Adams in 14th place there in the Mercedes, replacing Glock as a full-time driver now. Smoke in 15th place in the Haas, a regular top 10 qualifier, but can't seem to try and pick up the pieces in the race and try and get the results he need. Rogue Smithy on a late season charge in 16th ahead of Atlas Copo. 1 point separates Rogue Smithy and Atlas Copo. And Zenum, who's not here tonight unfortunately, JDM's in 19th and Sonic Hawk is 20th. For the constructors, Red Bull wrap up the championship. They're currently well ahead by 150 points ahead of Williams. Mercedes is in P3, but is that P3 under threat? They're not too far behind Williams is Mercedes, but given the current circumstances, Williams might have P2 cemented. It's the battle between Alfa Romeo and Mercedes, and AlphaTauri are only 6 points behind Alfa Romeo too, so they could be up there in the championship if they have a good race with good strong pairings between Atlas Copo and Dragon. McLaren, who were champions last season, are currently down in P6 ahead of Aston Martin, but Aston Martin also on a charge too after Nordis' great pace in the last few stints. Alpine in 8th place there, considering they had a win this season with Mackett, and Sammy finished on the podium as well back in Brazil, but the consistency hasn't been there to complete those competitive results. Haas, who have looked really strong now and then this season, dipped in and outside the top 10, regularly a good qualifier, but in terms of the race, they tend to drop out just a bit. Ferrari, unfortunately, are in last place there. They've really struggled this season, has Ferrari, but they've had 2 podium finishes this season. Let's not forget. I think Lord Danny Boy picked up a podium back in Monza when it was a very chaotic race there as well. And here is the formation lap then. It's a 9-lap race, and let's see what tyres are attached to these cars. It's going to be the medium compound tyres, but Nordis has gone soft then, so he should be having the advantage early doors in this race to try and overtake both Red Bulls.
So, solid cork on the hards. A big gamble there, suited for Las Vegas. So, Nolde softs, Langfeld softs, MDJ softs. I understand MDJ going on the softs. He wants to really push hard, go aggressive at the start. And I tell you what, Rogue Smithfield's soft as well. He's going to be on an absolute push as well to get through the field. He has to get by his very old best friend, JDM. Remember the battle of Bahrain that they had? That was an all-time classic for them, to say the least. But yeah, Red Bull, are they actually going to fight, or they're going to be Red Bull? Who's going to be the lead car? Harry Kane or Berimi? You would argue it's Harry Kane because he's leading the championship. But Berimi, will want to fight Harry Kane for the championship going into next week at the final event in Silverstone. What a crazy... You feel like the season's gone too quickly, isn't it? We've got the last race of the season coming up next week in Silverstone. Then we're going to say goodbye to F1 23. My word, how quick this game has gone through its year. Wow.
I know, all the league races are commentated and races on. I'm going to miss it thoroughly as well. Great memories produced here in SFR too. And I can't wait to see what the last two races of the season has in show between the two Red Bulls. I think where Berimi's lost it this season is at the Miami Grand Prix, where he had a 3-second time penalty, a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and also he spun out too, I think on his own. So Berimi's lost a lot of points in Miami, but here in Vegas, going to hit the jackpot this time and try and gain those points back here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see then what these two Red Bulls can do. Will Berimi fight hard? These two Red Bulls have been really kind and respectful to each other. Like, it's not a proper championship battle. If you think about it, between the two Red Bulls, like you usually see, the old rivalry between the two, it's friendly and civil between those two, working in harmony to try and get the best results.
It's not Mercedes of old, isn't it? Like the Hamilton and the Rosbergs, isn't it? It's literally the Verstappen and the Perez of Red Bull, to say the least. Here we go. Lining up towards the line now. Oh my word!
Someone's broke their wing and we're not even started racing. I've never seen someone break their wing.
That's Simon.
It is Simon in P11. He's broke his wing and you don't get damage on the formation lap, so he must be a lap ahead of us.
What's going to happen now then?
Possibly a restart here. JMDM's been disqualified.
Yes, it's got to be a restart, surely.
Was Simon one of those drivers who joined late in the session? He was at Las Copo, but Simon's gone. He's leading. He's not in AI mode. He's currently one lap ahead.
No, he is driving. He is in control of the car. I've never seen that before. That is unbelievably weird.
Damage on the formation lap. Simon's one lap ahead of us, of course. And what's he gonna do? Is he continue driving by himself, or? I've seen this before. You've got to retire, unfortunately. You've got to leave the session to retire. So I think that's what he's got to do. Pull to one side and retire the car because he's desynced as well. So let's see what he does. He tries to hit the wall.
Yeah, retire there, Simon. Just retire there.
He's got to retire. Unfortunately, that's the only option because we've had it before in other lobby where somebody...
The game is... it's not even Simon's fault, really, isn't it? It's just down to desync, isn't it? It's just... Simon... I do feel bad for him. It's sort of not as his fault in this rate. The game should have, sort of registered him, coming into the box. Oh, here we go. Okay, we've got a very different camera angle now.
I'm on board with the Williams. That must be MDJ because we're quite close to the pecking order, the top of the pecking order. So hopefully he's reset. Simon's still loading in, of course. So it must have been a game bug where it takes time for him to... resync on the track and be in his current grid slot, which is P11. Like I said, both Hasses have a tendency to get inside the top 10, but not this time in Vegas. And let's see what they do in the race. They're always quite close together, Hasses, because like Agamal and Smoke, they're always together on the track. They can't leave each other alone.
That is one of the weirdest things I've seen in... One of the weirdest things.
I've gone off board now with the pit lane shot we usually have, so hopefully we can get racing once Simon sinks into this race. Every single driver's ready.
It's not Simon's fault, really, isn't it? I think it's down to the game, desyncing, so...
I think people are telling him to leave the session and rejoin. I think he's left. Yeah, so we're going to get... There's a safety car. We're going to have to restart for sure now.
Yeah, it's glitched. So... Let's go check if all the drivers are leaving. Oh my god, look how much of the desyncing is. Yeah. Surely. So yeah, while we're getting this sorted out, I want to have a little comparison, right? Was F123 a bigger success than F122? What do you think? Is F123 a bigger success than its predecessor? Now we're going towards this end of its game cycle.
We'll see. Hopefully, 2024 is a much better game. But every time we've got a new game coming out, there's always been those bugs and glitches we get early doors. I remember 2022 when we had that audio glitch at the start of the race. That was absolutely horrible. That audio glitch. I hated it. But yeah, fine. Hopefully, we can get these. I don't think these bugs will ever get fixed. It's Codemasters, it's EA. They never get it fixed, and nothing has ever been fixed in the F1 games, unfortunately.
The funny thing is, on F122, I've actually pretty enjoyed F122, really. One where people actually really enjoyed it, because I was actually pretty bloody fast around on the game. I actually had 3 victories at one point, and I actually went up into Division 1 once upon a time. Yeah, I was actually, like I said before, F122 was actually one of my favourite games. 23 came along, I've done a few, bought the game, done a few laps on it, and I thought, you know what, this is actually quite good fun, this. Then we got to the new season, oh my word. I was absolutely dropped dead last in Division 1, and then, of course, got back to Division 2, and all hunky-dory from there, but my word. I don't mind F123 that much. They got the oversteering issue sorted out. I'm glad they got the handling sorted. And now we're moving on to the to 24, which apparently is going to be more realistic handling. But do they say that every year though? Realistic handling.
Yeah, they do. Everything they say every year, but it doesn't actually happen.
Could be the case. Maybe that could be turning up strategy to a Division 1. I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest. So, all the drivers are loading in now. So, interesting qualifying. Red Bull 1 and 2. And MDJ 7th. And he will be starting 7th, because that's how the game sort of, desynced before they happened.
It's lovely to hear your dog in the background there. What type of dog is it, Oliver?
Yeah, I am sorry. She is a little bit hot at the moment. It's a pug cross chihuahua.
Oh, nice. I think I knew it was like a pug something because you can tell by the breathing, so I suspected it was a pug.
Yeah, it's a pug cross chihuahua, or better known as Chug.
That's a good word. That's a good one, Chug.
Her name's Carla, and she's being absolutely irritating at the moment. I'm not going to explain why she's being irritating, because it's a bit too PG, so...
Yeah, don't want that in our heads, but anyways...
No! I'll not explain it!
We came back off the back of Imola last weekend's race. It was admittedly a boring race. Not much action that was going on other than the midfield swapping around with Yuki Tsunoda and Nico Hülkenberg. By the way, Yuki Tsunoda has been doing a fantastic job. He's been quietly getting himself inside the top 10. His qualifying was impressive, and the race too was impressive. He's really started to come alive with Yuki Tsunoda.
Daniel, do you remember trying to survive Christian Horner, bringing back Daniel Ricciardo? Oh yeah, he's ready. He can take down Tsunoda. Wrong decision. I would have brought back Liam Lawson. He'd been doing a stellar job in the AlphaTauri colours, but no, they just went for good old Danny Rick because he's Daniel Ricciardo.
It's controversial, of course. I know a lot of us are Daniel Ricciardo fans. He is a very nice person with a good personality, but at the same time, we care about the driving too. Driving's most important in Formula 1, and he's not really showing or delivering the results as RB expected this season. I think it was a test back in Silverstone last season where Nick de Vries was doing bad, and they brought him in a Red Bull car in Silverstone, and he was doing well. He almost said that he was 1/10 off for Verstappen, I've heard, and they brought him back for RB. But ever since then, Tsunoda has absolutely destroyed him. Not no disrespect, of course, but that's the way it's been. And also Liam Lawson, when he was a substitute for Ricciardo when he injured his wrist, he also did a fantastic job for AlphaTauri too back in 2023. So yeah, RB have a lot to think about in terms of driver lineups. I'll definitely bring in Liam Lawson now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I understand the decision, Ricardo being the third driver at Red Bull, and because of Nick de Vries being well, I feel a little bit sorry for Nick de Vries in some ways. He didn't have enough time, but of course Red Bull made that decision in Holland and bringing Ricardo back. We saw see the fairy tale story. Ricardo probably dethroning Perez out of the Red Bull seat, and we could get Ricardo Verstappen Red Bull partnership again. Clearly that didn't happen. And then of course, like you said before, Lawson came in after the injury and done an absolutely solid job, actually better than Ricardo. At some points beating his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, and now we're back to Ricardo. He's been doing absolutely dreadful in the RB. Now, as we know, Red Bull, as we all know, they are a very, very ruthless company. I mean, the ruthless company. They're not afraid to sort their drivers out during the season. Is that going to happen to say to Ricardo? Bringing back Lawson? I think it might.
I've talked to somebody at work about, he's a massive F1 fan, so we get along really good, really nice there, although he is a different fan of what driver I support, but I'm a neutral fan, so I don't care. But he said the same thing about Daniel Ricciardo as well, and he said about how ruthless Red Bull are in the business of F1. Back to 2016, where Danny Kvyat beats Ricciardo in the championship in 2015 when it was his first year in Red Bull. It was Ricciardo's second year in Red Bull, as he replaced Sebastian Vettel, who went to Ferrari at the time, and Kvyat beat him by about 2 points. He picked up a few podiums, I think, back in Singapore and Hungary. Then he did quite well in the first few races. Obviously he torpedoed Vettel in Russia. I'm not going to say China because that was a fair move in China. Even though I'm a Sebastian Vettel fan, I got to admit that was a fair move from Kvyat down the inside of China. He did nothing wrong there. But he did get a podium at the end of the day. Finished in second or third when Vettel was on the podium too. And then obviously that famous comment of the torpedo there. But the Spanish Grand Prix, wow, 2016, what a memorable year that was when both Mercedes, title rivals there, and took each other out of the Spanish Grand Prix. Then Danny Kvyat got replaced by Max Verstappen. Verstappen went on to win as well. And the story continues.
The start, wasn't it? The start of the Verstappen era. And my God, did he rise up from there. Beating Ricciardo, and of course, the famous 2021 season, the season we all remember. Going to the final race of the season. The race I was absolutely angry at. I was actually at my mate's house that one day, and me and him was just shouting, legit shouting at the telly. And I heard some stories actually here in Gloucester. We had the Sky booth in the shopping centre, and this shopping centre was literally rammed full of F1 fans trying to get a glimpse of the F1 on the telly, and they were all cheering for Lewis Hamilton. And the moment the race finished, the moment that Max Verstappen won that Grand Prix and won the championship, all those people watching the TV just sulked and just walked away. It was quite funny to watch.
I was at work when it happened, so I try not to go on my phone because I used to work on weekends when I was younger because I was at college at the time. And I worked on weekends to get the extra money, of course, during the COVID pandemic too, so I wasn't really missing much in terms of going out on the weekends, but benefits me in the end. But I was at work and I tried to cover my ears when people trying to talk to me about it, try not to watch it, try not to go on Discord, Twitter, social media. Any social media I would ignore, literally. Any text messages, any Snapchat notifications, and not look at them until I get home. Told my dad to go to the very beginning because my dad wanted to watch it with me as he was at home at the day, so he didn't watch it at all. Then we both watched it, and we had our different opinions on that one. But anyways, it's Las Vegas. 2021 is done with, and I know many people to this day complain about it, but at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it at all. And we move on to the future.
2024, actually, what do you think of the McLaren livery they released today for Senna?
Absolutely beautiful, mate. I just looked at it when I got home today after work, and it's absolutely beautiful, I must say. Can't wait to see it on track.
Gorgeous looking car. And there's been talks today that McLaren could challenge Red Bull now for the rest of the season. I don't want to call it too early yet. Too early to call on that one. After the win in Vegas, and of course Lando Norris charging in the end. Maybe that could be the case. We don't know. We'll have to wait after Monaco to see how it happens.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I think Red Bull obviously will continue their dominance, but I think McLaren might win a race like now and then, but Red Bull dominance will continue. I don't think anybody should be too hyped about this. Although
I'm not.
of course, people want to be hyped about it because they want to see a championship fight. But at the same time, let's not forget the Red Bull's development and their upgrades too. They will continue to dominate the season. I think McLaren and Ferrari could win a race now and then, like Mercedes when they were dominating. Ferrari or Red Bull win a race now and then. So I think Red Bull will continue to dominate, but McLaren will have the odd chance when they will take it, either Piastri or Norris. I really love to see Piastri get his first win of the season because he definitely deserves it. He got his first sprint race win back in Qatar last season when he beat Verstappen and Norris.
Yeah. Here we go, back into Vegas. Hopefully the game's not going to fold. Hopefully. See what I did there? Ba-doom. Good old blackjack joke. So let's see if the Red Bull drivers can actually gamble and put all their money on red and don't come out black. I'm sorry. It's one of those. We're in Vegas. We are in Vegas, and I've got to do those little puns.
I wonder if those guys who started the medium compound tyres or softs might alternate between the two after seeing what other competitors might do. So let's see if that will play a mental effect on their minds to change tyres and see if it works. But 9 laps, you'd think the softs could go towards the end, but bearing in mind though, are they trying to save a set of softs for the actual feature race? I'm not quite sure how tyres work in terms of feature and sprint. Commentated for the past year or two, and I still don't know how many tyres you save or use during a sprint or feature. That still confuses me to this day, so I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I done, as far as I'm aware of, when I done the sprint, the mediums is the way to go because the softs did degrade at the end, and it was funny because me and Mr. Wiggles, we had a good little fight at the end. Of course, I passed him I passed him just before the strip. Stupid move from me, and well, the rest is history. And yeah, I feel like the mids is the way to go, not the hards, because the hards will take a while to heat, and the softs will degrade. So I think the preferred choice tire will be the medium compound, just due to the durability and the grip at the same time. So let's see how many drivers will go for the medium compound tire. Find out if it was like 80% of the grid that were using it. So maybe that could maybe be the tire I preferred choice for the sprint race before we go into the main race. MDJ needs an absolute stellar of a sprint race here. Stay out of trouble and also make progress. That's what he needs to do. Because P7 will help out his championship chances being in that position.
He finished first in the feature race last season. He beat Harry Kane on the last lap of the Grand Prix because Harry Kane got in front of him on lap 24. But I don't think there's another formation lap. Yeah, there is, so I can talk about it whilst I've got a chance. So there it is, and hopefully everybody's in the right places as it looks. I think everybody is, judging by memory. But I think you've seen something. I think people have changed tyres, haven't they?
Yes, MDJ was on the soft tyre, but he's actually probably listened to the stream and went for the medium compound tyre. So the only soft compound tyre in the top 10 alone is the Alfa Romeo of Langfell. And Rogue Smithy is got to stick with his choice with the soft compound tyre, and Sonic Hawk is sticking with his choice with the hard tyre. So yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so on lap 24, Harry Kane got in front of MDJ, which turned out to be the wrong decision because he compromised himself, because the long 1.8 mile straight, MDJ overtook him again. And also Laser, his former teammate, as McLaren dominated the constructors, and Laser, the defending champion, now beaten by Harry Kane. Oh, not yet, he's still the defending champion, but neither of these guys are champions yet here in SFR. Still got 2 races left to go in Vegas and Silverstone, but Laser almost beat Harry Kane too, and MDJ won this race. So can MDJ repeat last season in the Williams, as he was in Mercedes last season too? But he's currently down in P7. Not the best qualifier is MDJ, but in terms of the race pace, he does come back strong. We saw it in Baku when he started P18 and finished in P2 behind Hazara. What can Hazara do in the race as well? He's got the sprint race, try and make as many places as he can before the race ends and see where he ends up in the feature. Try and come back through the field again in the feature race. So let's see what he does here in the sprint, starting in last. And Laser 2 down in P19, a consistent top 5 finisher. He's been so far away from the podium this season, but P19 be a big struggle there for the McLaren driver. Rogue Smithy in 16th place. Out of position, I dare say. He did tap the wall on his final run in qualifying, but on those soft compound tyres, would that give him a grip advantage, try and make his way through the field as quickly as he can before the race ends as well. Who else is out of position? I don't think anybody else is, I dare say. Both Hassers usually qualify as the top 10, but they're not too far away.
Is out of position in my point of view.
Yeah, the man who won in Qatar currently in 10th place. We didn't really see much of Draugen in qualifying, so I'm not quite sure if he does struggle around here in this track or didn't have lacked the pace so far in this race. I think Langfell is an outlier in qualifying. Once again, a great job, great qualifying in 6th place. And watch out for Langfell in the early stages of this race on those soft compound tyres. He'll be making his way to the field as well against the guys on the medium compound tyres. They all line up. It must be so awkward to line up on a curve here, so people have to straighten the car up before they get going. But Simon's been disqualified, and we hope for a good split.
But Simon is staying. Don't forget, Simon is staying. But here we go. This is it. Las Vegas Spring Race is about to get underway.
Here come the lights then for the race. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway here in Las Vegas. Let's see who gets a better start. Which Red Bull has a decent start? I can see Barry be squabbling there at the exit there of the start. And here comes Lourdes around the outside of the Red Bull then. He's under pressure immediately, is the Red Bull of Barry. But can he try and stick around the outside to keep P2 and keep contention with his teammate? Yes, he can then. Langfell swapping places with his own teammate there. Hasn't made any places yet, has Langfell. But he is now wheel to wheel with his own teammate.
There's a big chaos in the back of the field. We got Rogue Smithy in there. Sonic Hawk's in there. Big dive there from Azara. Can he get the move done? No. Oh, big pinch there between the 3 cars. I hope there's going to be no damage there.
Samir tapped the wall at the exit of turn 2. He's lost 3 places now, so he went from P4 to P7. He outbroke himself, unfortunately put himself in the wall. I don't know if he sustained any damage, but however, it's still a Red Bull 1-2. Nordus maintained his position in P3. Ramavaj just lost a place towards his teammate, as expected on those medium compound tyres, whereas Langfell is on the better tyre at this stage of the Grand Prix, trying to capitalise as much as he can, which he has. He started in P7, now up into P4 is the Norwegian driver. On a charge as JDM fights it out with Hazard. Here we are on the straight. They're 3 abreast on this strip here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the outcome of this battle is going to be. There's Rogue Smithy taking contact with the Alpine. They're stuck behind the AlphaTauri. They might go 4 abreast on the straight there. They're stuck behind the AlphaTauri there of Jargon. Here we go. There goes Rogue Smithy. Here comes Azara. Down the inside we go. And let's see how this battle ends. We've got Rogue Smithy versus Jargon. Jargon has to back out. Hazara has to back out. Here comes JDM taking advantage there as Hazara backed out of the battle to make sure he didn't make contact with Jargon, who went slowly at the corner too. JDM now is side by side with the AlphaTauri driver. MDJ is ahead of Ramavaj. He goes up into P5 and P6 there, but they're both going side by side out of turn 1. Heading into turn 2 we go. MDJ has the inside line now, and I think the battle's still continuing down there in the midfield. Here they are. JDM versus the Norwegian of Hazara. They go wheel to wheel. Hazara, by the way, 20th to 12th in 2 laps then, so that's good news for him. He's on a charge so far, up into 12th place. Oliver, over to you, mate.
I mean, what a chaotic first couple of laps, but JDM actually getting his elbows out on one of the fastest, one of the fastest drivers in the sport. And I'll tell you now, he's done a phenomenal job trying to keep Zara at bay, but it's all to no avail. Rogue Sniffing using those soft tyres to great effect, and now catching down both of the black Mercedes. Let's see how that's going to turn out for him. But I'll tell you now, Langfell will need to make this strategy work. He's now chasing down his one of the Norwegian compatriots in Langfell. They're all weaving around at the moment trying to break the toe. They're all now in single file now, but here comes Langfell closing in slowly but surely towards Noldus's Aston Martin. It's the red Alpha against the green machine. Oh no, this is having a little sneaky down the inside. Is he going to break late? Oh yes, he is. Breaking late, he is. And gets the move done. Noldus up to P3. Now he's in the challenge with the Red Bull. But no, he's not. He made a bit of a tailstone on the outside now, the corner. And there goes Noldus. Sweeps past him. Back into P3. And Noldus will keep the position.
Poor Langfall used a lot of batteries trying to overtake him. In the background, that's Hazara versus, here we go, they're going down into turn 1. That's the Williams versus the Mercedes. However, Rogue Smithy has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on a charge. He's made up 6 places already this Grand Prix, benefiting of the use of those soft compound tyres. Drake Dragon is fighting with JDM, who's down into 13th place. I think he made a mistake out of turn 1. Now he's under pressure for smoke behind. His DRS has been enabled. JDM's being swamped by the Ferrari, and here comes the Haas, who goes up the inside and takes P13 and 14 away from the McLaren driver, who tries to brave it out. He hits the wall on the outside, bit of contact with the Ferrari driver too. Lays out of shape in the background there as we go towards the chicane now for turn 5, 6 and 7. JDM stays with P14. So we got Lord Danny Boy back on the exit of turn 3 with better traction, although he did hit the wall and hit into him. Notice the battle with Langfall has cost him the Aston Martin as it went off board. Has made a mistake. That Sonic Hawk in the background there, but Nordis has lost DRS sports to Berimi and Hurricane. Here are 2 Red Bulls about to battle it out for the lead of the Grand Prix. Here comes Berimi with the helping hand to the DRS, of course, going wheel to wheel. The 2 Red Bulls, the 2 championship contenders, the 2 protagonists. There's an AlphaTauri in the background of 13 there, who has gone for a spin or hit the wall at the exit there. It's very easy to do so, carrying a lot of speed into turn 12. But Berimi takes the lead of the Grand Prix ahead of Hurricane. Langfall has gotten orders too. It's going to be very spicy now. Langfall's up into P3 finally. He made that mistake in qualifying where he lost the back of the car at the exit of the chicane. Very easy thing to do indeed, as you want to get on the throttle as quickly as you can, but at the same time you're turning and getting on the throttle too. And here comes MDJ. He is derating. Here comes MDJ. Will he go up the inside into 1? No, he won't. He stays behind for the time being then. So Nordis has used a lot of battery to MDJ. Oh, I was on board with him. He lost the back of the car.
That was very lucky there for MDJ. Good car control, but he is losing time between Langfell and Nordis. He needs to get past him. Otherwise, his championship challenge for Silverstone next week is going to be very, very difficult. So hopefully, MDJ can sort of make progress in the next 5 laps, or not even that, few laps time. P3 will be the best position for MDJ for the feature race, but if he wants to get there, he needs to get past Langfell and Nordis, and that is not an easy task to do. He needs to minimise the damage.
Langfall has been a charge recently in the past few races, consistently getting himself inside that top 10. He's gone for an alternate strategy. Look at Nordis there. I thought he outbroke himself, which he did, but just avoided the wall at the exit of the corner there. Very close millimetres separates the wall and his right front tyre. Now, for company, MDJ has got the DRS. They both got DRS to the back of Langfall, who's got the DRS to the back of Hurricane. Hurricane switching positions between himself and his teammate, but however, Langfall is in P3 still. MDJ overtakes P4. Overtakes Nordis, sorry, goes up into P4 now. Danny is like goes Ramafaj. Will he take advantage of that? No, he won't. He tried to, but I think he compromised himself. The Alfa Romeo gets a very bad exit once again. The back end of the car looking very tail happy indeed. And here comes MDJ. What a great recovery drive from P7 to P3, all by himself as well. Benefiting from the driver's mistakes. He's up into P3 and crucially on the back of the 2 Red Bulls. Now, the top three in the championship are first, second and third, but in different orders. And let's see if MDJ can get himself back in the DRS range of Berimi and Hurricane.
This is it now for Hurricane, for MDJ. If he wants to make this championship work out for him, he's got to cash down both of those Red Bulls, and very, very soon. Hazara is making a very good climb up the field from P20 up to P8 at the moment in Alpine, closing it on his teammate Saman, who's in this train at the moment between Ramovaj and Nordis. Actually, Hazara is actually closing up to the top guys now very soon. And DJ is 1.0 behind the 2. He's in within DRS range. Can he stay until the activation zone? Is he going to be enough?
I think he's using a battery. I'm not on the telemetry, but I think he's using a battery, trying to get himself closer in the DRS, which he has done. Crucially, he's broke away from the second train. Langfall's dropped out of DRS from MDJ. Now he's under huge pressure from his own teammate and Nordis. Here we go. Then he might get out dragged.
He's got no DRS.
He might get out dragged here. Here comes his teammate and Nordis. 2 places gone there on one straight. He's demoted down into P6 as Langfall. Although soft compound tyres started to fade away, just reached the end of their peak. However, Ramafaj goes out wide. He picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He massively outbroke himself. Now squaring for traction. He has Nordis once again all over the back of him. Here comes Samin now. This is getting very spicy opportunity here in the midfield. Here we go then on the straight with two Alfa Romeos, the Alpine and the Aston Martin. We head down towards turn 1. You can see Ramovac defending the inside line into turn 1. Nordic trying to go around the outside. Now he has Sammy for company. Langfeld spun at the exit of turn 1, I think. No, he hasn't. He's lost the place. I saw a yellow flag. I saw Langfeld dropping down. So luckily he hasn't, but he's got the Mercedes all over the back of him. Martin, those soft compact tyres now reaching the end of their peak as we head on to the second straight. Here we go, and Nordic stays at P5. Both Alfa Romeos and both Alpines in this battle too, with in between them is Martin and Nordic. Martin overtakes Langfeld. He's really struggling in those soft compound tyres, but however, MDJ is out of DRS range once again. Third, contact made between the Alfa Romeo and Mercedes there. Langfeld and Adams came to blows. Unfortunately, Adams came off worse and he rejoined further down the field than he anticipated. Also, Laser from 19th to 11th as well, so he's having a good sprint race. Is a Laser trying to capitalise off other people's mistakes as well. So also, MDJ is outside of DRS range. Can he get himself back in? It's going to be a very tough ask, especially on the straight there with no DRS there for the Williams driver, whereas Harry Kane and Berimi are constantly swapping DRS there. And once again, Harry Kane takes the lead of the Grand Prix. And further behind, you can see Ramovac is under pressure from Nordic, who goes up to P4. Ramovac has his 3-second time penalty over his shoulders there. Samid takes P5 away. That's what I'm talking about as well. That DRS is so powerful. And here comes the Alpine going down the inside. That's Azara trying to take action there. They go wheel to wheel. At the chicane we go. And Azara ends up in that battle. He puts himself up to P6. Azara, P20 to P6 in 7 laps, or 6 laps as they bounce across the line to start their 7th lap there. What an incredible drive from Hazara, once again showing what he's made of as well, especially for ETA.
Honestly, Azara is doing an absolute fantastic job. Even Martin as well doing an absolute fantastic job in the Mercedes. Azara has put himself into a very, very strong position in this race. MDJ needs to make these technologies to the corners work now for him in this final part of the first sector. Azara closing in very close to the teammates. Both of the Alpines are working together against Nolan to got a yellow flag. That is for Rogue Smithy, who just made a cropper of himself at the final part of the circuit. 1.2 now between MTJ and the Red Bulls. You can see on on the foreground. But look at this, the Alpines are just flying the moment. They're now closing in on Nolan's Aston Martin. You could be seeing Alpine around the 4th and 5th position in about any second.
Here we are on the straight once again. How are both Red Bulls going to play this out coming towards the latter stages? Are they going to take the sprint race more serious, or both sprint race and the feature race more serious? Look at the background. I can see 3 cars about to go wheel to wheel. That's both Alpines swamping the Aston Martin. Hazara is up into P4 now, but his teammates come back at him. Sammy, but he lets him go, and he's down into P5. Is Sammy made a position?
Is MDJ going to be worried now? Is MDJ going to be worried now? Because the one car and the one driver he does not want to be having chasing down is Zara. Is MDJ going to be worried now? Because now Hazara's got 1 lap to chase down Harry Kane. No, Harry Kane, MDJ.
He has indeed, has Azara. So can MDJ be demoted off the 3rd place for qualifying in the feature? Oh, he spun! MDJ spun! He's out of turn 3! No! That's a big consequence for the championship, especially for the feature race too. He's going to drop a lot of positions. Is that pressure sustained on him? He's been disqualified! Oh no! My god, he's not going to score any points as MDJ. He started last. And that has big consequences for the championship indeed. He was settling down for P3. But the game disqualified him immediately, and he's out of the Grand Prix.
Oh no!
That's a massive dent in the championship. It's gone.
Well. If you could not think of any more shocks through Division 1, it's now down both to the Red Bulls to slug it out for this championship. I don't know if MDJ can even recover from P20. I've seen miracles before, but he needs an absolute stonker of a race in the feature to get his championship back on track. Red Bull is just, beat Red Bull, they're just teamwork from what we know of. And looking at Samu's going to take on his teammate. Here we go. Samu's actually overtaking Azara and going to P3.
And also Mercedes could have there's a bit of contact there between the Aston Martin and the Alpine, but both Mercedes can gain points on the Williams drivers. They're not too far behind in the constructors.
Yes,
both
that's very
Williams,
true.
Both Williams have been disqualified and retired. They're both gone. Laser's gone up to P10. Great recovery drive from Laser as well. A bit more squabbling in the midfield. Not quite sure what's going on down there. The Aston Martin has made a crop of himself down there in the chicane. There he is on the hard compound tyres. I'm still surprised he's still on those hard compound tyres considering we've had a second lobby. But crucially, the first and second, Harry Kane overtook MDJ on lap 24. And here comes Samir, but he stays behind, does Hazara. So Harry Kane once again finds himself first in the last lap of the Grand Prix, like he did last season on lap 24. Heading into lap 25, got absolutely swamped by MDJ. It could happen again here with Berimi then. So by going first again, has that cost Harry Kane? Because Berimi's got a 1.8 kilometre straight to try and overtake Harry Kane with the helping hand of DRS, which is definitely going to be inevitable considering the power of the slipstream and DRS there. But the battle for P is looking very heated and interesting. Nordis is right behind Azara. Here he is then going into 13, but most importantly the battle for P1. Harry Kane is defending left, right and centre, but there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. Nordis has overtaken Hazara. Hazara's made a mistake there. Nordis up into P3, but here comes Berimi now on the back of Harry Kane. Let's see what happens. Harry Kane goes defensive on the inside, but the Red Bull of Berimi blasts past his own teammate, and I think he'll take the victory, but it could come towards the line.
I've got one more straight, don't forget. It's a flat out straight. Let's see if Harry Kane can respond to it.
There's that massive battle going for P3. Unfortunately, I can't watch it because I'm going to watch the top two. But Nordis is up into P3, back into P3, considering it's in P6. And here comes Berimi to win the sprint race ahead of Harry Kane. Nordis, look at this. Hazara's going to out-drag him towards the line, which he does. They're wheel to wheel. And Hazara takes P3 away from Nordis as well. Simon in P5, Martin in P6. Nordis just slipped away from a podium chance there. But this is for the position for the future race, so it doesn't matter. P4's still a good choice for the race indeed. And Hazara from 20th to 3rd on the grid. Martin going up to P6 as well. This is great points for Mercedes as well. Try and close in on the Williams drivers and pull away from Alfa Romeos. Both Alfa Romeos finished in P8 and P9 due to the Sokol tyre fading away and Romovac's 3-second tyre penalty too. So this is crucial for Martin. This is one of his best finishing positions for a long time for Martin.
I'll tell you now, the championship has just been blown wide open to the Red Bulls. It really has. I'll tell you now, the championship's still not done a dust yet for MDJ. But MDJ needs an absolute miracle of a drive to get himself into the top 10. And not only that, towards the top guys at the forefront of the field. But who could stop Red Bull? I mean, honestly, who could stop them at this moment in time? Azara maybe Noldis. Martin, big shout out actually being in P6. Big shout out to him. That's one of his stronger races, that is. Hopefully he gets converts that into a very good finish. Laser, P10, well done.
I think he had a strong race in Vegas last season, but I remember him making contact with somebody which caused him to lose the positions he was in inside the top 10. So he's quite strong in Vegas, proved to be finished in P6, and let's see what happens in the future. We saw a chaotic race here. The battle for P3 was intense. I should have watched out for that, but I've only have two eyes and one camera, of course, with no replays like in Formula 1, so I can't keep an eye on every battle, unfortunately. Ooh, we move on to the sprint race then, feature race, and let's see what it has in store. 25 laps as well in this race.
That was a crazy sprint.
It was indeed. I really enjoyed that sprint race around. MDJ didn't enjoy it, unfortunately. He was off course for P3, and I really love to see what he could have done in the future race if he'd been in P3 to fight both Red Bulls, but bad luck just enters his side, and he dropped it out of turn 2 and got disqualified, and Rogue Smithy, his own teammate of course, retired from this race. So both Williams start last in a crucial championship fight for the Drivers' Championship, which is not ideal because Rogue Smithy can't really help his own teammate, try and help him in the championship standings like he did in Imola and Miami. But let's see what he does then in this race. Can MDJ go from the back of the field anywhere near the front? He did it Baku. He started P18 whilst he was drunk and finished in P2.
I remember that day as well. But this is a tall order. MDJ is not drunk tonight, but I hope he's not going to be drinking in his sorrows after the sprint race. Honestly, it's a tall order, and also for the constructors' fight as well. Mercedes has got a big open opportunity now to capitalize on the bad sprint race for Williams. Because don't forget, they are in that constructors fight for P2. Don't forget with Williams against Mercedes. So Mercedes with Adams and Martin, they can really capitalise on this.
I believe Williams score no points. Mercedes score a few points in this race too, so it edges them that further. And also Alfa Romeo as well, if they could catch Mercedes, which might be unlikely, but not impossible. But definitely for Mercedes' sake, who unfortunately had I won't say terrible season, but they had a good season to start with, and they edged away. Let's say they won 2 races thanks to the clock, and had 4 podium finishes. But ever since the clock left, Mercedes have been on the back foot just a little bit. But Adams and Martin have caught up gradually during near the end of the race as well. So not only the drivers' championship is under threat, the battle for P2 and the constructors could be under threat too, with the way Mercedes are going.
I'd say it's going to be very, very difficult to see if Williams can. Well, but MTJ needs the drive of his life tonight. All eyes will be on him to see if he can capitalise on we've got a nice shot of the Red Bull. Here we go, we're underway. So let's see what the tyres are for this race. Hard tyres for what? 95% of the field, and then we got the medium tyres for Noldus. We got Sonic Hawk on mediums, Smoke on mediums, Origos on mediums, and Simon. The rest of them are on hard tyres, so they can stretch out to the soft tyre. It does work. I have tried it before. But yeah, it's one of those, really, to see how this one. It's one of those, really, to see how it all plans out. But what a tricky race for MTJ to start 19th. It's going to be very, very tricky. Also, high risk of a safety car. That's also coming to play as well.
Indeed, we already had one retirement, although we had a disqualification, but majority of drivers made it through the race. We had a bit of contact on that one, but we saw Simon in the wall twice, but he didn't pick up any damage, so he got very lucky there. And let's see then, in P5, can he get even closer? His teammate Mackey's not really been here throughout the whole season. He did win a race, I think, back at the Austrian Grand Prix on older tyres. I'll never forget that race. But Alpine have a good strong chance of winning this Grand Prix. Alpine are currently behind Aston Martin, and Aston Martin and Alpine, this is very intense because they've both got good driver lineups. And let's see what happens in the last 2 races between those two teams, Aston Martin and Alpine. They're currently down in 7th and 8th in the championship, which is quite bizarre because I thought it'd be higher up than that, but evidently they're not. So we'll see if they can try and climb themselves up the order.
So, are Red Bull? This is the biggest question for the championship. Are both of the friendly bulls going to turn into the raging bulls? I'm going to fight. Oh, Simon and Martin had contact. So they're going to be on cold tyres for the start of the race. But let's see how it all plans out. Let's see how, if the friendly bull could turn into a raging bull and actually spread out their elbows, or in their case, spread their wings against each other and actually fight. Because we want to see a championship fight between the two Red Bulls. If Barry and Harry Kane are listening, I want you two to go lock horns like the two Red Bulls that you are, lock horns and fight. That's all I want to see. 2 raging bulls battling for this championship. But they're probably not going to listen to me anyway, and then they'll probably just do their own thing and just slipstream each other and just get away. And then they'll properly fight.
Yeah, you don't want to properly fight in the early stages where you can risk everything. You want to fight towards the end of the race, like follow the DRS train in the first stint, protect and manage your ERS as well. Then on the second stint, on the mediums or hards, depending what tyres you're on, that's when you want to fight and get your elbows out indeed. We don't want to see Imola, a repeat of Imola, where Harry Kane gifted his teammate a win, literally gifted. It wasn't a fuel problem either.
No, it wasn't. And I'll tell you now, here we go. This is it, 25 laps. I'm going to keep it on MTJ here, down in the pack here. But yeah, here we go. 25 laps around Las Vegas. This is it. The penultimate round of the season.
For the second time in Vegas, the lights are about to go off. 3, 4, 5 lights. Last time Barry did get a good start, but he has to now. Away we go for the Vegas Grand Prix for the second time in a row. Barry gets a decent start for once, and this time Hazara is fighting the other Red Bull. Down the inside goes the Alfa Romeo. He was from a long way back, not quite sure who that was, but they split up the field already. Already a big gap between P6 and P5 there, but Hazara stays behind Harry Kane, so good defensive driving from the Red Bull driver as we slipstream down in towards turn 3 we go.
Round.
Oh, it's a shame there for Martin after a good qualifying start. But here comes Azara up the inside into turn 2. They go. And Harry Kane's trying to stick it around the outside. Can he do it though? They continue their fight going down into turn 5 and turn 6. But they make contact. What's going to happen down into turn 5 and turn 6? But they stay in formation for the time being. That was very scary. But yeah, breaks himself. Does Berimi. Just stays on the track at the exit of turn 6 there. And Hazara stays behind for the time being. Hazara is on an absolute charge.
MDJ has his most rocket-powered first sector. Already up to P11 already behind JDM. Absolute rocket start from MDJ.
Great driving indeed from MDJ. 9 places already like Hazara did, so that's a very good start from him. I think MDJ gained more places than Hazara did in the sprint race, so that's incredible indeed. But here we are on board with the 4 Norwegian drivers in the top 4. Norris is on the medium compound tyres, but here, switching lines there, and he makes no, that's lag. Sorry, that's lag. Hazara is lagging again, like he did in Brazil, which cost him the victory. And here we go. Hazara takes the lead of the Grand Prix initially, and here comes the Alpine up the inside. Oh, here comes Ramafaj. He spins the car. He tries to go up the inside of somebody, but ended up spinning the car, and he's going to drop down a lot of places. That's crucial for the championship fight too. Here comes the Aston Martin now of Norris, capitalising and making use of those medium compound tyres. He puts himself up into P4 in the race there. Yellow flags in the final lap, final corner of this race, and that was Ramavaj who's causing the yellow flags. But Sam is off the track.
up to 9.
So that's 11 places made in the space of 2 laps. That's a great job indeed there from MDJ, especially what I needed. Where's Rogue Smithy? He's up into 12th, so he's also had a good start. Has the Canadian Scouser, but we head on to lap 2. No DRS yet is enabled there. Hazara leads the Grand Prix ahead of both Red Bulls, so that was a very good start there from Hazara. Elbows out between both Red Bulls, no quarter inch given between those 2 bulls, and he made it up to P1 there, but it won't be over yet because he'll be stuck in this DRS train once the DRS is activated.
Can I just say a bit of a shout out to JDM here? He's in the top 10 at the start. It was actually in P9 at the beginning stages on the first lap. And JDM steady start in the top 10. Let's hope he stays there. Logan is doing a very good job at the moment in the McLaren. Let's see if we can stay there.
Indeed, then Laser quietly and slowly makes his way up to the field as well. He starts at the back of the field in the qualifying session, so use the sprint, try and make as many places as he can and try and get closer towards the feature race. Currently in this DRS train so far, Berimi is on the back of Hazara. Will he try and go for a move? He won't go for a move. Oh, what's going? Oh, that's lag again. It looked like he just spun the car on a straight, but it was actually lag. It caught Berimi out too because he tried to defend. So Hazara is lagging, and I really hope he don't catch Berimi last time, because last time in Mexico, both Red Bulls made contact. Harry Kane went through Berimi, which caused him to spin, and that's what cost him a lot of points in that race too. With Rogue Smithy fighting with Adams there, trying to make up more places, as Simon is getting involved too in the action as we go wheel to wheel on the straight. We go headed down into turn 1. Let's see what happens there. You can see that the Haas is trying to stick around the outside. Brave move indeed, but can't quite make it stick. Adams is the car, the back of the car stepping out for him as he tries to go around the outside into turn 2, but can't do anything about it, of course. However, Norris is stuck in 4th place there, so he can't make any moves on those medium compound tyres, and that's the worry about this track. It's very hard to overtake even though you're on better tyres. And here comes Sonic Hawk, who's trying to make a move, but he stays behind as the Haas and the Williams continue their squabble there as Adam gets involved as well. As we make our way down this turn 4 and turn 5 we go. Rogue Smithy and MDJ, what a brilliant start from both Williams, but he goes off the track. He got hit, I think, from the Haas. He's ghosted as well, has Rogue Smithy, and the Haas gets his way back through. So unfortunately there for Rogue Smithy, he's only lost 1 place though with no damage, so we can continue from there. But Berimi is almost outside the 1 second DRS range, which he is. Hazara is absolutely pulled away, but you know what? I think Berimi is getting caught out by Hazara's lag.
I think so too, and it's one of those, isn't it, that you can't really predict. And look at that, no DRS for Berimi, so Hazara has checked out at the front. Look at that, Langfell and Laser's derating, and Langfell is just going to steam right past him into P6. And now for MDJ, he has been a fantastic start, but now he's got to settle in, keep an eye on the ears of his, and he'll be going through the field like there's no tomorrow. But he is going to use more ERS though on Laser. He's going to go down the inside of Laser, going towards the last kink, around the last kink. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. MDJ up into P7. His now next target is Langfell up ahead of him. I'll tell you what, P7 in 4 laps, I'll tell you now, that's a good drive. Good start. This is actually what he needed. And now, he needs to get past Langfell, and then it's got around a 2-second gap to the next car, which is Samad.
if he only didn't spin in the sprint race. It's a safety car, ladies and gentlemen. The safety car has been deployed. So who has spun and broke their wing?
It's Smith. I think it's damage. I think it's damage on the track. Look at that. It's Smithy involved with Simon because Smithy's got no front wing on this car, and nor has Simon. Those two have massive contact somewhere.
The exit of turn 1 and turn 2. So both Williams and both Haas has lost their wing then. So you might want to check the race director just in case, if that's the case, they're contact with another driver. Rogue Smithy, however, look, I think they've both got 5 second time penalties.
I would, but I don't want to get lagged out.
True, I just kicked the table, so I was kicked the drink off my table there, which would have been detrimental indeed, with all the electrics and wires there. But yeah, both of them have 5 second time penalties, so I wonder if they hit each other and got themselves a penalty. But this is a safety car. It helps Barry me get closer towards Hazard. I don't think any of the front runners will pit. It's a bit too early to pit now in this race.
Yeah, I agree, but also it's all helped out MDJ a bit because he was around 20% on the ERS. But now he's under the safety car, he can just fill it back up and charge again. So NDJ will love this safety car because he gets to recharge his battery and mix another charge. But I tell you now, Hazara is going to give both Red Bulls a massive. And what's this? Hazara, he was going to go with. Oh! The lag again. Look at the front runners are pitting.
So yeah, I was
soft. Oh, and no, this. Oh dear.
Oh, it was a double stack from both Red Bulls, so Hazard Harry Kane will lose a bit of time towards other people. So Langfell, Smoker stayed out. I called it wrong. It is a great time to pit. I thought it was a bit too early. I've never really seen people pit this early before in a race, but being on fresher tyres is the norm on this game if a safety car comes out. So as long as other people pit, you'll be fine. But who's picked for a penalty? That was Nordus who picked for a penalty, unfortunately. So another podium chance might be slipping out of his hands due to a simple, small mistake there from Nordus. And that pit lane
is on softs.
Oh my goodness, a very interesting stint indeed. So I wonder if it could be a two-stop strategy because it is early to pit. So I don't think the medium tyres could go towards the end on those cars. It could be another Qatar situation, but bearing in mind, Qatar, the safety car came out a bit later where the medium tyres just dropped off towards the end and they almost got a puncher. So we'll see. Hazara's softing could be very interesting. It's definitely a two-stop. There's no way those soft compound tyres could go towards the end, but maybe those mediums can. He is lagging now, so could that play an effect towards this race? Because we saw the safety car in Brazil where Hazard was lagging, it caused him to spin because he was out of sync with everybody. So I hope the same thing don't happen here. He is lagging out.
It's a bit of a shame. The funny thing is, Hazara was fine during the sprint. It's sort of the same thing, really. We had a sprint race in Brazil. He was fine during the sprint race, but when it came to the main race, he was just having internet issues. You can see it in the background. It's just, I don't know what it is really with him being in the main race. I don't think his internet does not like main races, the race that counts most. Weird, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, he was all right in the sprint in Brazil, but he lagged in the feature. So that's a good point to make. But hopefully, like Brazil, he doesn't spin out like he did and cost him the win there. So hopefully he's safe for the time being. So 3 drivers, Sonic Hawk, Smoke and Langfell, have stayed out to claim track position. But I dare say guys behind on newer tyres, they might be swamped at the safety car restart. We'll see how long they can survive for. Langfell is on the hard compound tyres, going for that long stint on the hards before he converges over to the medium compound tyres. Nordus, who went from mediums to hards. That strategy would have worked, you know, because these hards might be able to go towards the end. I think they will, but they'll be hanging off the cliff. It's all about survival towards in the Grand Prix. The rest of the guys in the mediums, they may have to make another pit stop, depending how good their time management is towards in the Grand Prix, like it was in Qatar.
So, Red Bull on 5th and 8th, NDJ 9th behind Harry Kane. That is going to be very interesting to watch. And we all know NDJ, he's going to go all out attack. He's got everything to lose here. He's currently 2nd in the championship behind Harry Kane. Barrini is currently 5th, so he's going to gain more points on NDJ if it stays like that. And the final round of the championship could be anyone's between them 3. It's going to be hard to predict how that's going to work out here. Currently, our race leader is Langfell. He's leading the Grand Prix. Smoke is in P2, and Sonic Hawk is in P3, but they have not pitted. So it will be Hazard being net race leader if he doesn't lag out.
Indeed, and this is a big opportunity for Berry. He's got 2 cars in between himself and Harry Kane. That could be a factor if he gets a good restart and tries to overtake the top 3 and pulls away. Because older guys, not older guys, sorry, drivers on older tyres will hold people up. It depends how quick you can get your way through drivers on older tyres, and if you're stuck behind people on older tyres, you're going to lose a lot of time. So can Berimi try and dispose those 3 as quickly as he can and try and pull away and break the DRS train towards the rest? He's in a good position right now as Berimi. He's got to make the use of it while he can, whilst 2 cars are between himself and Harry Kane as well. We've got to watch out for the top 3. They'll be a bit slower being on older tyres, but the safety cars should come in at the end of the next lap then. So we completed 2 whole laps around here. Safety cars at the end of the lap. Thought it wasn't. I thought it took a bit too long, but here we are then. Every single driver, 20 drivers still remain in this Grand Prix, and a few have stayed out, including Langfell, Smoke and Sonic Hawk. The top 3 in this race have stayed out, of course. Langfell going for his usual strategy from harsh to mediums without paying any dividends towards in the Grand Prix. We'll find out. He can go whenever he wants to, and I think he's gone right now then, so he's pulled the trigger right now. It's a bit of a gap between Berimi and Harry Kane. Hazara, sorry. So a bit caught napping just a bit under the safety car. But as we go into turn 1, we go. Any moves? Here we are. Hazara around the outside into turn 1. Goes out deep. And here comes Berimi. He takes the place away from Hazara. And that's the wrong Alpine, sorry. It's the wrong Alpine. It's another Alpine. So, my mistake, that was Samid. It was Samid indeed. I thought I was on board with the top guys. But here comes... What's happened to Rogue Smithy?
Rogue Smithy has crashed. I think he's crashed out, Or no, he's retired in the pits. I look at this MDJ on the back of Mildes. Can you get it through? No. And that's going to be that's going to be a little bit tougher going through this little section of corners. And Zara is making go past Smoke through this little section of corners. Yep, that's second place for Zara. And now he's going to go straight off the Langfell. And look at this, Harry Kane is already on the back of his teammates.
So the 2 guys ahead of him, he's disposed them quickly. And now continue his fight with his own teammates. We head down towards turn 12 we go. Sonic Hawk is landing up a move on Smoke. So Smoke is struggling at the safety car restart. Hazara will try and take the lead of this Grand Prix immediately, making use of those soft compound tyres. There's no hanging around for Hazara. He's got a gun on these soft compound tyres. MDJ overtakes Noldus up into P7 Egos. And here we are on this 1.8 km straight on the Las Vegas Strip. And here comes Hazara for the lead of this race. So poor Langfell didn't get to lead the race for 1 lap as Hazara came through and takes the lead back. So Berimi still hasn't overtaken 2nd, 3rd or 4th. He's still behind drivers on the older tyres as well, so he's got to dispose of them quickly before Harry Kane gets all over the back of him too and trying to overtake him. So Hazara now leads, capitalising on this soft compound tyre. It's definitely a 2-stop towards in the Grand Prix. Here comes Samit then, the man who went out wide at the exit of turn 1, now has the inside line and takes Noldus on. So Noldus in this early phase is suffering on those hard compound tyres, but the advantage should be able to swing back his way. However, Langfell is under pressure now. What's happened there? What on earth happened there? I just saw him spin.
Sonic Hawk had a bit of a cropper then. I think he had a bit of a tap there for Berimi. I think we got a safety car out once more. So I think Sonic Hawk didn't get a tap from Berimi's Red Bull, I think. Or he went a bit too enthusiastic and lost the car himself. It's one of those 2. But wow, that was a big accident for Sonic Hawk. Unlucky there for him. But I was just about to say MDJ is on the back of both of the Red Bulls now. So 4, 5 and 6 are the championship contenders. And well, Azara is literally checked out at the front. So now we're in the safety car phase. What's Azara going to do? Is he going to pit and get rid of the softs? But that will risk him losing track position.
Probably dropping down to last place, but he was hoping to pull away on those soft compound tyres, have a big lead before he went on to a set of mediums or softs again and try and hunt them down towards the end of this Grand Prix. But this helps the medium runners though a little bit just to extend their tyre life and make sure they don't get a puncture. No fuel concerns in this Grand Prix I don't expect, but Hazara's strategy, will it play into his hands? Will this cost him now with another safety car being deployed in this Grand Prix, not able to use those soft compound tyres to his advantage?
He's coming in.
Yeah, he is. He's got to get rid of those soft compound tyres. So here comes Langfell. He's got to take advantage of that safety car, go from hards to mediums. Anybody else in the pit?
It.
He is. He's staying out there, but it's somebody else in the background's coming through. Is that Nordus? Who is it? Who's that Aston Martin?
It's Lord Daddy Boy. Lord Daddy Boy's in there. No, is it? Yeah, it is Noldus. You're all right. It is Noldus.
Yeah, I saw an Aston Martin veering right to go in the pit lane. It's a set of softs for him. That's very interesting. Also, he gets rid of his 5-second tyre penalty to serve in the pit lane, so he hasn't really lost any
Smart.
time. But there's an Aston Martin behind us, that is Sonic Hawk, the man who crashed and caused a safety car without a wing, double stacking. But Nordis then has gone into a set of brand new softs, and let's see if this pays dividends. Hazara now has been dropped into 16th place, but has the fresh tyres to go towards the end of the Grand Prix. So I wonder, will the guys who pitted first in the safety car go towards the end of this Grand Prix? I don't think there's no point pitting again. I think they should eke it out there towards the end, but Hazara might be a little bit quicker towards the end of the Grand Prix, being on a brand new set of mediums. So this should be very interesting now. Smoke, who still hasn't pitted, the Haas leads the Grand Prix, but I dare say Berimi and Harry Kane will dispatch him very quickly.
Harry Kane and Berimi 2 and 3. MDJ in P4. But just remember, guys, he started last and made that first 2 laps absolutely went his way. And I'll tell you now, MDJ will love to see the sight of 2 Red Bulls only the safety car. He needs to nail this restart and split them. He needs to split the Red Bulls so they won't use that DRS tactic when they have the chance. They need to use smoke. What right now MDJ needs is to use smoke as their buffer so he can get past Harry Kane first and then Berimi second. That's what MDJ needs to do. Split the Red Bulls, then he's got a chance.
The power of the DRS is mighty down this 1.8 km straight, so if both Red Bulls do play the tactic of helping each other to try and stay ahead of MDJ, the power of the DRS and slipstream is very powerful indeed. So he might get, I think one of the Red Bulls might fall down the order by 2 places. We've seen it plenty of times in the past where somebody gets out dragged down the straight and loses 2 or 3 places then. So I think if it was any other track, it might play towards both Red Bulls' hands, but because it's this track and the straight is so long, I don't think the power of I think the tactical DRS swapping places there will work. So at least MDJ's got that in hand. But at the same time, 20th to 4th after crashing out or spinning out in the sprint race, he's done a fantastic job making his way back through this feature race. And there's still plenty of laps left to go in this Grand Prix. 15 laps left to go here in Vegas, and we'll see the battle of the Titans between the top 3 in the championship. Smoke there, the outlier in P1. He's currently in net P1. Still got to make a pit stop, has Smoke. He should have probably gone to hard compound tyres because those hards can go towards the end. So I don't think that's the right call there from Smoke.
At least Smoke is actually winning. It's actually leading a Grand Prix. He's actually probably enjoying himself out there at the moment. So I think Smoke won't mind losing track position. He probably wants to feel what leading a Grand Prix Division 1 is going to feel like. And I'd say now, if he wants to enjoy himself, I do love his helmet. Again, thanks to all the drivers for all the tributes during over the 2 days. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Berimi, Harry Kane, MDJ, the championship contender. I'll tell you now, Smoke's going to be breaking it right now with all 3 of the championship contenders are literally right behind him. Not to mention they're going to be squabbling for positions. We're only on lap 10 out of 25. We've still got the rest of the race to go yet.
Yeah, we're not even halfway there. We've had 2 safety cars in the space of 10 laps as well, so not the race actually we wanted. Still 19 drivers remain in this race.
Look at this, MDJ is literally going right beside Harry Kane, just giving him a warning saying, you know what, mate, I'm going to be there after that restart, after that green flag drops, I'm going to be there. He's literally went right beside him to give him a warning.
And safety car is in at the end of this lap then, so the racing will continue. This is going to be a mighty battle towards the end of this Grand Prix. 15 laps of action, and let's see what happens. Can Hazara catch up to the front? Yes, he can. He's already proved it once in the sprint race. Who's to say he can't do it again? What can Nordis do on a fresh set of the soft compound tyres? They won't be able to go to the end, so another pit stop is imminent, and we'll see if Langford can catch up too after pitting as well at the end of the second safety car. So we've got a jumbled up order, and Laser in P6 quietly making his way through the field again. There goes Smoke then, he's pulled the trigger right now, and he has the rest of the pack on his tail going down into turn 1 then. So any moves into 1, the Red Bulls are close enough to make a move, but here comes the Alpine down the inside of Samid then, not taking on any prisoners is Samid, and look at this contact between Adams and Lord Danny Boy, as through goes the McLaren of that's JDM up to P8. He's taken 2 places there.
JDM is having a dream race out there. P8 at the moment, he's doing absolutely brilliant up there.
So Berimi then was side by side with that Haas, but he didn't go up the inside, so he's not taking many risks, although he just scraped the wall out the corner. Lord Danny Boy is now ahead of Adams there as he's been swamped by the rest of them. Here comes the Alfa Romeo's Ramafaj, who's trying to go around the outside now, but not really a place to go around the outside because he's going to run out wide
the
anyway.
Red Bull look around the outside of Smoke, and that's Berimi having a look at the outside of Smoke. JD, look at this. And DJ needs to get past Hurricane as soon as possible so he can split the Red Bull and not give them the DRS.
Oh! I thought Hurricane was so close to hit the back of his own teammate. He broke so late there. But here we are.
Imagine the scenes.
Imagine, they did it in Mexico, but it was different circumstances. But here we are then, you can see Hurricane use the battery. Berimi's not really overtaking Smoke there, he's got to make a move on now, because MDJ and Hurricane are on their way. I think Berimi's playing it out tactically by staying behind the Haas to gain the slipstream. He doesn't overtake him. He does not overtake him, he stays there in P2. I wonder if he could conserve a battery by not using it too much at the early stages, try and save some towards the end. But look at Smoke, who's had a poor exit out of the chicane there, and here comes Berimi now. This is his chance to take the lead of the Grand Prix on the King, heading down into lap 12. No DRS enabled just yet as we cross the line once again. Here comes Hurricane now up the inside. That was inevitable, he had to make that move to make sure he didn't lose a lot of time. And here comes MDJ now side by side with the Haas. And that is crucial indeed. MDJ is up to P3, so here comes Samid now, will try to take advantage, but there's not enough room there to go around the outside, so he has to stay behind. But more yellow flags. That is Sonic Hawk, unfortunately. That's another safety car again.
Oh man, 3 safety cars in a space of 12 laps.
I think tyres won't be a concern now towards the end. This should be okay, tyres.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. And so MDJ, that was crucial getting past Smoke. Very, very crucial. So now he can stick with the Red Bulls through now the rest part of the race. Lead Hurricane second, MDJ is now third. I'll tell you what, big shout out to Logan in P9. Absolutely brilliant stuff from in there. He usually runs to the bottom of the field, but he's having one of his best races here in this season. P9 doing a fabulous job at the moment.
Yeah, he is indeed. That was a nice move he made into turn one. 2 people went side by side. He just went through like Hamilton did on Perez and Leclerc back in Silverstone. But I've had a flick.
I'm about to say, no. And also, a constant reminder, like Oscar Piastri did in a McLaren when Sergio Perez messed up in Miami.
Oh yeah, he did indeed as well. Yeah, he went through to P3, I think, Oscar Piastri, from starting behind Norris and both Ferraris. But what I wanted to point out, I was on the shoulder cam of Hurricane. When I go on board with him, I can't see him. But I can't see his steering wheel as Smoke inevitably pits to get rid of his tyres. He hasn't pitted just yet in this race, but now he has to get rid of those tyres. So that's a good opportunity. He should have the freshest tyres out of the lot, should Smoke. So let's see if he tries and gets back towards the end of these guys towards the end of the Grand Prix, because he has the freshness of those tyres. Whatever he goes on to, I think he should be hard because the softs might not make it towards the end. But I had a quick peep at Hurricane's steering wheel and it said plus 3.2 laps. So despite having 2-3 safety cars, he's still not got enough fuel in that car. He must have underfueled it by a milestone.
Yeah, predicting all these safety cars probably coming out. So that's very interesting to find out. Then also, another interesting thing, what did you think, what's the one stat you always constantly say about Laser?
He's been so close but yet so fast for the podium. He's had a podium for the first 3 races of the season. But after that, he's always finished inside the top 5, excluding Monza when he crashed out. But he's always been inside the top 5. If any late drama happens, and I say this every single race, China was one of them, Imola was one of them, I think Qatar was one of them. He could have been on the podium, but he was just so far behind. Literally, like, just 1 lap too late or something like that. And it's just so unfortunate because Laser's got some good consistency, but he's just that far away from a podium. He can't be Hulkenberg because he's got podiums unlike Nico Hulkenberg, unfortunately, our fellow German driver, of course. And I feel sorry for Hulkenberg, actually, because he's a really good driver, but at the same time, he just can't get a podium. And why is Simon and Norda swapping places there for P11 and P12? Let's have a look to see what happened.
I'm going to have a look myself, actually. Let's have a look. It can't be... Is it the Delta? Is it the gate telling him something that we don't know?
They've swapped places once again, so they must have sorted it out. I don't know if Simon broke too early and he went through Nordas. Maybe that could be the case.
Probably. Azara up into P9. Good, well done from him after pitting. So he's coming up the field nice and steadily. He's actually got the freshest tyres now in the top 9. So that's a very interesting thing to see.
And also, Smoke has gone on the soft compound tyres then, so let's see if he can make them towards the end of the Grand Prix. With all of these safety cars, we've barely had any racing action. 3 safety cars and only 1 retirement.
The demolition derby of all things. Oh, and Simon, is this going to be a retirement for Simon? 5-second penalty? Probably not. He's coming in from the 9-lap-old hards. Where's he going to go on? Soft tyres probably, yep. Soft tyres for Simon as well.
Just want to mention there the Ferrari, Jevi Oilglass. Haven't said his name once, but he is racing for the Ferrari to replace Zenum. I believe Zenum is currently doing something. So yeah, whatever Zenum's doing, I wish him the best of luck. But yeah, I mentioned to Jevi Oilglass in P15 there. He's on the hard compound tyre, can take them towards the end. Mentioned to Atlas Copo, haven't mentioned him either. He's currently down in P14 on the 9-lap-old medium compound tyres. He's surrounded by guys on fresher tyres too, so he might be in a bit of trouble towards the end of this Grand Prix. As a commentator, I like to mention every single driver if I have the chance to try and get themselves involved as well. So haven't had the chance so far, but also Lord Danny Boy, who is inside the top 10 currently so far, and both Ferraris have been struggling to get inside the top 10 this season, although they picked up a podium in Monza at their home Grand Prix. But Lord Danny Boy has a dip in performance sometimes, so hopefully he can try and finish inside the top 10 in this race because he's deserved it. I think he qualified high as well back in the qualifying, and let's see where he started in the sprint race as well. Let's have a quick check to see. Yeah, 15th place then, so he's gained 5 places there, P15 to P10. And we'll see where he can finish towards in this Grand Prix. But yeah, Jevio Oilglass stepping in for Zenith. What do you think about the new Sky Sports commentator Harry Benjamin replacing Crofty?
I watched a little bit of the Imola Grand Prix because I had it on record because I was away. But I quite like his enthusiasm there. I need to watch the rest of the Grand Prix to see how he get my full opinion. But initially, I quite like it. To be honest, I think it's a good little replacement there, nicely done. It's not going to be a permanent thing, of course, because Croft is the staple of Formula One, or the voice of Formula One, if you want to call him. But yeah, I quite like him. He's pretty sound.
He is. I enjoyed his commentary too. If for those guys who know what Sky Sports F1, there was a new commentator this weekend replacing Crofty for the first time ever, as he was introduced back in 2012. Was Crofty from, I think it was BBC or ITV, and Sky Sports F1 introduced back in 2012, and he's had a run of form. Has Crofty been at every single race of the season until this one in Imola? Taking a break, but here we go then. Red Bull 1 and 2 underway once again. They've got a big gap over MDJ already.
MGJ had a full start.
He did it. He's under pressure from Samid as we head to turn 1. Samid tries to go around the outside. He did make it stick under the second safety car. Oh, contact with Laser and Samid there. More contact as well. Here's Mayhem in the midfield there too. And there's a big contact and collision there between Ramovaj, Laser and
Lord
Samid
Danny
there.
Boy is in P6 in the Ferrari.
Incredible, made up 4 places as well. We've got a massive fight going on down here. That's JDM on Lord Danny Boy. Makes contact with the AlphaTauri.
No, JDM, that's all your work. Hold gone. Oh, JDM.
He's fully spun the AlphaTauri around, so he's going to be joining down in last place for Dragon. So
Look at Lord Danny Boy up there, P5.
Running his own quiet race, avoiding every single incident, and he's up there at P5. What about Ramafaj? We said about him, he fell down the order quite dramatically in the early stages with that 5-second tyre penalty, and now he's up into P4. So he made his way through the field unscathed and went around everybody, but that's a shame there for the likes of Laser and Simon. We don't really see Laser making contact with people, but mistakes do happen. They're going to happen every once in a often. But the top 3 are left alone in the championship to fight it out. So the show will go towards the top 3, and the battle for P5 is intense. Then we've got Langfell up to P5. Langfell pitted a few laps ago, remember, in the second safety car. He's made up a lot of places already on the freshest tyres out the lot, and he may be on course trying to take away the top 4 spotlight. We'll see if those tyres can go towards the end for the top 4, which they should do with 2 safety cars. But here we are, Hazara then, all over the back of Langfell and Lord Danny Boy. Lord Danny Boy is doing a mega job. Can he stay there inside the top 10 with all that contact? Smoke, who was at the back of the field during the third safety car after he pitted, is up into P9 on those soft compound tyres. Looking very handy indeed. We've got 9 laps left to go in the Grand Prix, so it's still a long stint on those soft compound tyres, which will probably make it towards the end, but be hanging off the cliff on a knife edge with those softs. So watch out for that. As Adams overtake JDM for P10. It's a shame for JDM making contact down the inside of Dragon. But yeah, it's a tight corner going down. It's turn 3. There's more contact as well. You can see Mercedes there really sliding as JDM comes through once again. He puts himself up into P10. Here comes down the inside. That's Sonic Hawk taking 2 places at once.
What a move!
What a lunge there from Sonic Hawk. I thought he outbroke himself, but he turned it into an overtake, an accidental overtake, and he made it stick. Well done, Sonic Hawk. Up to P10.
What a move that was from Sonic Hawk. Being brave there, and Azara, well, this is going to be a fun one. Azara and Lord Danny Boy. Let's see how this one will plan out.
So it looks like Langfeld is catching his own teammate there. The gap is 1.1 with those medium compound tyres he has, the better mediums. And here comes Azara then on Lord Danny Boy. No competition there, being on fresher tyres, of course, for the Norwegian driver. But Lord Danny Boy is tucked in right behind the slipstream. Will he try and go up the inside into the next corner, or will he let him go? I think he'll let him go and do his own thing, really. And Hazara's up into P6 then. So Lord Danny Boy's fine. Unfortunately, behind him, there's guys on better tyres than him. So he might be under threat from the guys behind on softs versus new mediums. DRS is enabled in this race. The top 3, as it were, Bear Me, Hurricane and MDJ. Further behind, Martin and Smoke there having a battle for P8 and P9 as Smoke doesn't go up the inside into 1 then. So we'll buy this time and wait for the time being then. But I want to keep an eye on the battle for the top 3. Just imagine what MDJ could have done if he didn't spin at turn 2 in the sprint race.
Not even that, but think about it. The safety cars helped him out. The lap 1. Oh, JDM retiring the pits. Oh, he was having such a great race as well. One of his best, actually one of the best races he's ever done. And oh, that's so unfortunate. But here we go. Going towards the next DRS zone. Red Bulls are 1 and 2, like they have in the sprint race.
I think
MTJ, is he going to play smart? Is he going to play smart, or is he going to drain the ERS? What's he going to do?
That's the only option, really. He's got to force Hurricane to overtake his teammate and try and get past Bearing himself. Being P3 is not the best place to be, especially when you're behind two teammates there. So MDJ's got to force a lunge if he can. Does he have the battery at his disposal to use? He does, because there's no flashing light on the back of that car. But does he have to straight that speed?
Langfeld on his teammate.
And in the background there's Hazara. You can see just in the background Hazara will overtake Ramavaj 2 and Langfeld. This is going to be his best finish of his career so far in SFR. He's done a fantastic job so far. Martin has overtaken Lord Danny Boy. Next up is Smoke, and Smoke did not get past Martin considering they're fighting into turn 1. So Martin held his ground as we head on to lap 18 of 25. 7 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Hazara's right behind Lord Langfeld. Does he go up the inside into turn 1? No, he doesn't. And what about Lord Danny Boy versus Smoke there into turn 1? There's no moves being made so far between that trio there. But Sammy picks up a penalty to Hazara. Where's Langfeld? No! Langfeld spun! Sammit's retired in the pit lane, and Langfeld has spun at turn 2. He was doing such a great job.
Oh, Langfeld. Unlucky, my man.
So 2 people there making mistakes. Unfortunately, his laser sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. I think he just pitted his laser, so explains why he's so far behind. I don't know why he pitted. Norda's pitted too, so did he have contact somewhere in the midfield? Laser? Oh yeah, it explains why Laser pitted, because he made contact with Sam did see in the early stages. I'm not quite sure what happened to Nordis either, so that's a shame there for Laser and Nordis. Mr. Top 5 consistency, but it had to come to an end at some point. And yeah, Langfeld being dropped down into where is he right now? Where is he? I can't find him. P12, there he is, P12 in the race. That's a shame there. He was doing such a great job on course for P4 or P5 finish. And Martin makes his way back through the field. That's his overtake on Martin. Welcome back, Martin. And here comes...
Here we go, this is it. The Red Bulls are fighting. Here we go.
And here comes MDJ now. We'll take on P2. So Bearing went from 1st to 3rd on that straight there. So he's demoted down to 3rd place. He has, that's crucial.
Oh no, and MDJ made contact with the wall.
Is this Hurricanes a big opportunity to pull away now, because he slowed Bearimi at the corner too? So MDJ's mistake could cost Bearimi too as we head down towards turn number 1. You can see
MDJ has drained all the airs as well to try to gain the time back.
He has indeed, so he's used a lot of his battery there. Has MDJ, probably a good sign for Bearimi too. And he got swamped going down there, didn't he, down into turn 13 as we head through turn 1 between this multi-car battle. Martin is looking on fire so far. He's caught up to Romovaj, and he might be able to overtake him for P5 there. So Martin has came out absolutely alive in this Grand Prix, pitted under the first or second safety car, maybe third, who knows. But as we head down into turn 3, he can't overtake him, but it should be easy going out of turn 12, heading to turn 13. Although he's got a pack right behind him to watch out for. Although Ramavad should be cautious as well about it, with all the guys behind catching up too. But let's see then how the trajectory of this race will go now the top 3 are swap places.
I'll tell you now, even though NDJ is in P2, it's going to be a real struggle with the low battery that he's got now, because Bear Remy and Harry Kane do love to save their batteries for the crucial moments. So you can tell by watching that, looking on their onboards, they got so much more battery. MDJ needs to stay behind Harry Kane and not use the battery. He's going to use that dash to the power of the DRS. Here we go. MDJ down towards the inside and gets the lead away from the Red Bulls. MDJ leads the Grand Prix in Vegas.
He does indeed. That's a strong drive as Martin has overtaken Rumfudge further behind. You can see the Haas there trying to overtake the Ferrari. On later the brakes is the Haas on those soft compound tyres. In fact, contact's made between Lord Danny Boy and Sonic Hulk and the Haas again. That was the Haas there, unfortunately getting forward in contact. That was Simon there got involved, but the battle for P1. It's a safety car again. This is the soft tyres, surely. The guys who are going to fit into the soft compound tyres.
I'll tell you now, if we can't have more fireworks in this race, we're in for it now. NDJ will lead the Grand Prix from last. I said he needs a miracle. He's certainly got it.
Here he is in the feature race. MDJ has come alive. And also there'll be a double stack, because Bear Remy's got to double stack again behind Harry Kane.
Double whammy as well, yeah.
Yeah, Bear Remy would be absolutely fuming with that one. He does not need a safety car to be double stacked. Although he won't lose too many places, because the field is quite evenly distributed around the circuit, so he won't lose too many places. Maybe one towards Zara. That's about it.
Ramavage has just pitted, the first guy to go into the softs. Smoke will enjoy this as well. I tell you what, Smoke, Martin, best races they have right now. They're going right now. Martin for quite some while, to be fair. Rocking out the P5, and don't forget, Jamie Hazara. He'll be an absolute nightmare to the top 3 because of his pace. Do not count out Hazara in this race at all.
We could see an intense top 4 fight out for first place, depending who else wants to get involved too. But what I want to mention is, I forgot what I was going to say now. I had it in my head. It's literally just slips out of my head. Oh yeah, what I want to say is, do you know how we mentioned that we barely have any safety cars in the last few races of the season? We've had loads. We've had 4 or 5 in this race now.
Exactly, and this is the thing. It's the Demolition Derby in Vegas. They're all going to come in now to the pits. The Red Bulls are going to be double stacking. Oh my! Oh no! He came a touch.
Did he get a penalty for that? Let's have a look. I don't think he did. But what about full wind damage for Harry Kane? He might have escaped from it, so that was a very lucky.
No, just escaped. That was very lucky.
There's a bit of a glitch to the pit lane there as Bear Remy gets to work now on his car. The Red Bull mechanics get to work with their usual 1.9 second stops. But Hazara, I think he's jumped Bear Remy.
He's jumped one of the Red Bulls. Yeah, he has. He's jumped Bear Remy in the stops because of the double stack.
Oh, Harry Kane there, a bit faster. He might have broken his front wing, and therefore his race could have ended, because I don't think you can change your wing once you enter the pit lane, if I think it makes sense there.
If the thing's on auto, then no.
Yeah, so it could be a double whammy there for both Red Bulls losing their place towards Azara, and Harry Kane breaking his wing, although it would benefit MDJ and Bear Remy. But yeah, Harry Kane there, so lucky not to break his wing, and also MDJ's lucky too, not to speed in the pit lane, given that extra kilometre an hour or two.
He would appeal it if that turned out to be the case, but oh my word, we are set for a firework. I'll tell you now, Jamie, if you can have a voice left after the next 4 laps, I will praise you, because this is going to be an absolute hunker blast of a finish. This is the royal flush. This is they're not going to fold. They are going to gamble. This is all in. Championship fight on the line as well, going into Silverstone, the last race. I can't wait for this.
I said MDJ's chances of a championship could be over, but the way he's driving here in Vegas could turn on his head and therefore be in contention for that championship towards the last end of the season. I'm not quite sure how strong he is in Silverstone, neither with Harry Kane either, so I'm a bit unknown with their pace in Silverstone. The last race of the season in Silverstone, what an iconic track there since 1950, of course, and obviously had multiple different layouts. I think the layout we have now is one of the best layouts we've had so far. Do you agree?
Yeah, I sort of miss the old layout. I'm not gonna lie, me being a classic boy, I do miss the old layout with the Abbey chicane going under the bridge and a flat out right hander. But the new layout, yeah, it's definitely grown on me. I do love the new layout. It provides more fights, more drama. I do love the new layout. It's actually grown on me. But I do have a party and do miss the old layout.
I think we'll have 3 laps left of racing action. DRS will be enabled, of course, but all these guys,
On the
it's
last lap as well.
it's literally a sprint race. This is turned into a sprint race.
A sprint race full of many, many precautions for this championship fight.
Neither mistake can be afforded on either end, including Berimi, Hurricane and MDJ. Unfortunately, the time of the safety car has not played into Berimi's hands, but Hazara, the guy you don't want in this race to be there, is in P3. So let's see then, which of the top 4 will win this Grand Prix? Ramonfach, who fell backwards after the third safety car contact, is back
Yeah.
into P5.
I just don't understand what this race is going on about. I mean, Martin in P6, Adams in P8, Ferrari P10 and 11. What's going on? Norman's down in P15 after bad luck. I just, honestly, I probably won't have another voice left after this. So it's going to be an absolute humdinger of a finish. You probably won't have a voice left, JD, after this, because this is going to be an absolute grandstand finish, probably because you're matching with Mexico, because this is going to be an absolute slaughterhouse of a race towards the 25th lap.
Want to mention Jevia Orioglass. The last time we saw him was P15. Now he's into P10 on a good set of soft compound tyres. Then Lord Danny Boy is in P11. We know Lord Danny Boy made contact with a Haas and somebody else as well, so that's why he's down there in 11th place. But shout out to Jevia Orioglass there, being very quiet and trying to avoid all the chaos in this race.
Yeah, exactly. But here we go. Alpha Tauri's now joined the back of the field. The safety car will come in at the end of this lap. I hope you're ready, Jamie, because this is it. Final 3 laps.
Full push towards the end, full battery being used towards the end of the Grand Prix, full concentration, getting no penalties. Neither, do you know what? No one's picked up a penalty in this race at all, so respect. We had a few 5-second time penalties, but they've been served in the pit lane then, so I'm talking about warnings and track limits there. So congratulations to all the drivers, although I could curse one of them, hopefully not the front runners. Ooh, safety car is in at the end of this lap. Ladies and gentlemen, get tucked in for an action-packed ride here in Las Vegas. It could be chaotic towards the end of the Grand Prix. Remember, the championship is on the line here as well between the top 3 in the championship, consisting of MDJ, Hurricane and Berimi. And let's see what happens. MDJ trying to make amends after the sprint race and also missing a race back in Portugal. And here we go then. MDJ can decide when to go. He's gone now. And let's see what happens then. Hazard is close towards Hurricane. It's a good restart indeed. And here we go. Down into turn 1 we go. Hazard up the inside, but Hurricane just breaks a bit later than the Alpine driver. Now going wheel to wheel. Hazard gets a better exit. Remember, back in Mexico, Miami, these two made contact to the final lap. And let's see if they're keeping it cleaner this time. Here comes Hazard and Hurricane on the long straight there. Hazard will take Peter away from Hurricane and goes himself, but they're still side by side then. Hurricane trying to stick it around the outside. Will he go in the wall? No, he doesn't then, so very nice and clean between the two indeed. And Hazara now gets his nose in front and puts himself up into second place then, so Hurricane has dropped to place there between himself and his championship rival, as it looks quiet so far. Nobody really making mistakes there, as you could see, and Lasers overtaking Jevia Orioglass. Simon trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari driver. Let's see if he can make it stick. He's still wheel to wheel with the Ferrari man, trying to give it everything. He was inside the top 10. Unfortunately, he's down into 13th place now with the Aston Martin looking to take advantage there. Both Aston Martins haven't had a good race so far in Vegas, but you can see that Simon and Norda's clattering the curbs at the exit of turn 12, and you can see Simon's got a good relaunch. He's actually in the back of later, but the battle for P3 in P2 is more interesting. Let's see what happens then. Down this long straight we go. Hurricane is not close enough to overtake Hazara on this lap. Let's see what happens further down the field we go. As you can see, the Hurricane's so close in the rear of Hazara there, not making contact.
Dragon go down the inside of Sonic Orc. Good move. 13th place for the AlphaTauri driver. And now there's a gap formed between Lord Danny Boy and Smoke, who's actually up into P6, overtaking Martin. Well done, Smoke. He's now on the back of Ramavars for P5. And 2 tenths a second, 3 tenths a second between the Red Bulls. and Hazara is slowly catching up to the main leader, which is MDJ. Can MDJ hold on to this Grand Prix victory, and he'll give him such great momentum going into the final race of the season?
Top five so close together, separated by under a second. Literally, the top five are very close together indeed. The top five here, these strong calibers on this league, the calibers of these drivers are very strong indeed. You can see the top five: MDJ, Hazara, Hurricane, Berimi, and Rumavage. Also, Smoke in P6 He usually finishes outside the top 10, or just does Smoke. He's up into P6 so what a great race he's having so far. There's 2 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. MDJ still leads, but for how much longer? Because he's got a Norwegian army breathing down his neck of Hazara, Hurricane, and Berimi. Then let's see what happens on the straight. Is Hazara close enough to make a lunge on MDJ? MDJ will be using that battery.
Surely.
He's using that ERS trying to defend, but here comes Hazara then, will overtake MDJ on the straight, but DRS will be enabled on the next lap. Look behind us, that's Ramavage trying to take one of the Red Bulls on, but he can't quite make it stick, can Ramavage, so Berimi then is saved for the time being. He's up into P4.
MDJ played that smart there, because now you have the DRS on Hazara onto the strip. If he can stay behind him during this lap until the strip, he'll have a massive advantage, but he needs the Red Bulls behind.
He needs the Red Bulls behind, indeed. MDJ won ahead of Hurricane last season. Could it be the same scenario this season? MDJ, who started last because he spun in the sprint race, he's about to win this race almost, depending if he has enough battery. I can see the chassis there. He's got a lot of battery in his disposal. I can't see anybody else's steering wheel. It's not wise to go through here. He has to wait for the straight, which he does. But bearing in mind, though, he made contact with Hurricane. Hurricane a bit later on the brakes, but luckily did not wipe out the Williams there. Otherwise, the chances of winning are over. MDJ's going to be super careful there. They wish that the reserve driver Hazara was not in this race, although it's helping MDJ have the DRS in the back of him and keeping the Red Bulls behind. MDJ played his cards beautifully before the safety car came out, overtaking both Red Bulls, using a lot of battery. But here we go then, all the battery, all the energy will be deployed then.
This is it, this is the next corner, this is it!
He's in DRS range, as you could see. But let's see then what happens. MDJ deploying the battery right now. He's got 60% battery to try and overtake Hazara on this 1.2 kilometre straight, 1.8 kilometre, 1.2 miles in those metrics. DRS is enabled for MDJ. Here he comes again and again and again. Hazara's on the left hand side. Nothing he can do about it. MDJ takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Up into first place he goes. And Hurricane's too far back to make an impression. Langfeld swapping lasers with Adams there. MDJ unbelievable out of the final corner. But Hazara, will he get it back on the ERS? Does he have enough straight line speed? Will MDJ run out of batteries? Can be so close. Here comes Hazara gaining in MDJ, but MDJ is going to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix. What a race for MDJ. He's won the Grand Prix, starting in last place. Unpredictable as well, that race. I did not expect him to win. Fantastic.
And that's points gained. Points gained going to Silverstone because Red Bull are third and fourth. MDJ will have such massive momentum going to Silverstone. He'll be so pleased with that after a disappointing sprint. MDJ, driver of the day by a million miles.
He's not a champion yet, but this is a champion's drive for MDJ. He's got to be so proud of himself.
No. That's redemption. That is ultimate redemption from the sprint.
Yeah, from the sprint. I don't know how he had the composure. I would have been so angry at myself if I did that in the sprint. I would not have predicted myself being anywhere near the front in this race. But anything can happen in Vegas, depending if you hit the chat box or not. And what a race there for MDJ. Hazara as well for P2. Finally, Hazara's not winning the Grand Prix. I don't mean that, of course, Hazara. We all love you indeed. But you dominate a lot of races, does Hazara. Wow. Literally had me sweating in that race. Literally. Oh, poor Berimi there. That double stack ready to cost him. But MDJ to get through both Red Bulls before that safety car came out worked indeed. He's getting a lot of points in the feature race, but unfortunately not in the sprint. But he'll be happy with that for sure. That'll bring him confidence surely for the next race in Silverstone.
Honestly, if you wasn't tuned in for this race tonight and see what Division 1 had to offer, Silverstone is going to be an intense, tactical, crazy, all sorts of things. I mean, unbelievable. Wow. I mean, and even that, MDJ had the fastest lap going into that with a 26 points as well.
Wow, on fire, MDJ, literally on fire. That was a redemption drive. Oh my goodness me, MDJ was on fire. It looked like it went into Hazara's hands at one point, but it kept changing and switching and alternating with all the safety cars coming out, playing into different people's hands in terms of strategies. But I just can't believe this race. It's flown by just considering the safety cars
Exactly,
came
yeah.
out.
Yeah, exactly. Also, big shout out to Smoke as well. P6, unbelievable. Well done to him. Martin with a seventh. Oh, I even the Verizon in there at some point. Lord Danny Boy was in the top 10. Oh my word, what a race! Harry Kane here, the guy from Third has joined us. What? MDJ, he's gonna be partying tonight, Mr. MDJ. There he is. He's joined. I don't know if Hazara's joining. Hopefully he is. I'd love to get his thoughts. But I'll leave you to take it with the podium, JB. What a race!
So Berimi is not here yet. I don't think Hazara's not here yet. So we'll wait for him. In fact, we'll start with Harry Kane because he finished in P3. So Harry Kane, I just saw MDJ's comments in the chat there, but I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah.
But Harry Kane, mate. Here's Hazara. Harry Kane. Unlucky to you, mate. It looks like it was in your hands at one point with both you and Berimi very close together on the track. But were you expecting MDJ to come to the field like he did today?
Yeah, I was expecting him to get up the field, but with the amount of safety cars, it's just up to luck. He had me and Remy and himself before the safety car, and we had the control. Really, he had used his battery, and yeah, we thought we had it, and the late safety car came, and yeah, destroyed pretty much all our advantage we had.
Were you hoping that during the final laps of the race that you could keep Hazara behind and use the DRS on lap 25 to overtake MDJ? Was that your game plan?
No, not really. The game plan was to not be in first into the last lap, but unfortunately I was too far behind in the only corner in the second sector, and yeah, couldn't catch up.
Yeah, it's a shame there for you, Harry Kane. You did miss out in the end as well, but you must be happy for MDJ because he spun in the split race and he came back very strong to finish in first place. So I know you championship rivals, but you got to admire his drive today.
Yeah, you always have to admire someone who does good, but he is not the only one. Hazara did it a couple of times.
You did it.
I did it myself last time out. So yeah, a good drive, but a bit lucky as well with all the safety cars. At least the last one.
How do you feel?
Harry Kane.
Oops, sorry about that.
Yeah, but I'd say, okay, Harry Kane, Silverstone, last race of the season. You, MDJ, Berimi. What's going to happen there with you two, with you and Berimi? Is it going to be all elbows out between you two?
Yeah, I think it will be a good race. I think I have good pace there, and yeah, it will be good. Mostly a good fight between DJ and Remy. I think I have a good lead in the championship now. So yeah, I think it will be fun.
Whew.
Well, congratulations, Harry Kane, for P3. You made it a very interesting race between yourself, Berimi, Hazara, and MDJ. You're lucky to miss. I'm lucky to miss out on the win there, mate. But leading the championship and going into the final race of the season. And good luck to you, Harry Kane. We wish you the best, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Move on to Hazara then. So, Hazara, do you think your middle strategy of going on soft powered tyres ultimately ruined your race there, your potential race win? Because the rest of the guys didn't pit, they stayed out. You rejoined further up behind, but obviously you don't know how many safety cars could come out as well. So yeah, the soft powered tyres I think ruined your strategy.
Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest. I was going to go soft medium or soft from there, and I had a gap as well. But then, of course, you know, there was so many safety cars, and that one kind of screwed me because when I pitted, I had to pit, obviously. So when I pitted, I came out P16, I think, P14, and then yeah, just unfortunate. But if I could have used those soft tires for 5, 6, 7, 8 laps, then I think I would have gotten a healthy lead, and then I could have pitted for fresh mediums or fresh softs, and then yeah, my race would have been much easier. But yeah, what happened was, yeah, too many safety cars, and you just have no idea what's gonna happen. So you just have to take it as it comes. And yeah, there was a huge pileup as well after one of those safety cars, and we ended up like 4 or 5 seconds behind the leaders. So that cost me as well. But obviously the late safety car kind of nullified everything, so it was okay. But it's just not enjoyable to drive when you only have like 10 laps of racing and 15 laps behind the safety car. That's all.
And did you regret going into the lead of Grand Prix on lap 24? Did you expect MDG to come back at you, or did you think you could pull away?
No, I thought I could maybe create like a 6, 7, 10th gap, but it was only like 4 tenths, so that was what decided it. I wasn't quick enough in the middle sector. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna play any games. I saw he wanted to let me pass, so I wasn't gonna break and endanger the races of the people behind. So I was just gonna play it straight up, because yeah, I don't want to cause any controversy or anything in the championship fight. So I just drove past him, and yeah, he got me in the end, but it was pretty close still. So if I could have just eked out a 10th or 2 in the middle sector, I think I would have been fine. But yeah, in the end I just was not in the rhythm, yeah, due to all the safety cars, and yeah, just no practice as well. So it was just, I was hoping to get a lot of practice in, but it wasn't too much with all the safety cars. But fair play, GG's to him and everyone else. Good race.
Also in the chat we saw Volokong and Oscar in the chat. I believe you've raced against those guys before or been around them. If they race today, would you be excited to race around those guys because they're your esports type of level drivers?
Yeah, I would have enjoyed it, of course, because they're quick, and yeah, I know them well. So yeah, of course, but yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I got excited when I saw Volokong and Oscar in the chat there, because I know they're very quick drivers and competitors over them myself as well. But we got to talk about your drive, because you started last in qualifying. Was that intentional? Because we did see you pop in a few quick middle sectors and first sectors, but you didn't finish your lap time. So was starting last on purpose or not, mate?
Yeah, I thought I was going to try some laps just because, and see if I wanted to finish them. But there were also like average poor laps that I didn't want to even finish, because I knew I would have been like a second or something behind my personal best. So I didn't want to have that lap time on the board. I just wanted to have some fun in the race because those laps were really bad, like really bad. So I think it could have been like top 3, but yeah, I didn't want to that a poor lap and be third. I would have, if it would have been a good lap, I would have finished it, but it wasn't really. So I thought it would be more fun to drive from the back, because this is I'm not in any title fight. I'm just here to have fun. So yeah.
Fair play. It's always nice to have you, Hazara, too. You're very quick, and it's just surprises me like how much you could do from starting the back to be up there immediately. So really do inspire me with your driving. And Oliver, you got any questions for Hazara?
Yeah, all I can say is, did you have fun batting from the back from the field? Did you have fun?
I did. It was good fun. I wish we could have had more racing, obviously, but you can't always have everything. So yeah, but it was fun. A lot of good racing, some questionable stuff as well. I was involved in a couple of incidents, but yeah, I hope I'm not. I hope I didn't do anything wrong. So yeah.
Well done, mate, indeed. Congratulations on P2 after a good sprint race and good feature race, coming back to the field too after being on those medium cup tyres outside the top 10. So, well done for P2, mate. And moving on to
Mr. Happy
MDJ.
Boy. Mr.
Yeah.
Happy Boy.
He would have been so he would have been so angry in the sprint race, but that frown would have been turned upside down to a smile in the feature race. MDJ, I bet you were so angry with yourself during the sprint race, mate. What happened? Did you just plainly lose it through turn 2?
I wasn't pretty much angry. I was more disappointed. But so I was pushing a bit harder than usually because I noticed that I was closing into the cars I had every single time in the mid sectors. But then they had just driven away on the straights because of DRS usage, and they were helping each other. So I couldn't get close and couldn't get in the DRS. So I tried to push harder, and that made me fail. But then, for some reason, it gave me disqualification, which didn't help either. So to turn starting last to go through the field in lap 1 to winning the race on the last lap, it's special.
Well, it's not the first time you won around here. You won around here last season, and also you did the exact same move on Hazara to Harry Kane last season, so you've had a big experience as well. That you knew to let Hazara through and use the DS to the back of him to overtake him ultimately on the main straight, long straight.
I mean, letting Zero through, I mean, he could have backed off. I mean, I was going full throttle, but I was considering my ERS and hoping Hazara was gonna pass me. I was really hoping for it, and he did, so I was really happy about it.
What point did you think in this race, oh, I could get on the podium here or win? Because when you got stuck behind both Red Bulls, do you expect them to work together, try and keep you in that third place? I think the most crucial part in that race was you getting ahead of both Red Bulls before the safety car came out, because you really low on battery too, so that was to help you just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they were really helping each other to keep me behind, but I tried my best to get ahead, and it worked. From there, the safety car came out, and that also came in my favor, because I don't know what would have happened with my low ERS in the next few laps.
And also, how do you feel about the championship now? Are you just thinking about winning the next race, or is the championship on your mind still?
I'm not even thinking about it. Like, I've already in my mind, I've already given Harry Kane the championship. I mean, he basically has to finish third or fourth. He will just get it. And it might be that I'm not there that Tuesday. So it's if we'll see what's gonna happen anyway.
What happened last week in Portugal? Did you have a test, or did you? I don't know what you did. Did you have a test last Tuesday?
No, I went to see my girlfriend's parents.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh,
mate.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you had a test or something. I don't know why.
Yeah, he did have a test, impressing the parents.
Well, I hope you did impress their parents. As congratulations on having a girlfriend. I didn't even know about that, MTJ. I'm a close friend. You didn't even tell me you had a girlfriend.
No, this is recent, mate.
Oh, but still, I'm your close friend, so I thought I should know.
Did you pass the test?
I sure did, yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Were you nervous about it? Me to the parents.
Absolutely. I mean, anyone would, not gonna lie.
Oh, I'll try and keep it on subject then. But yeah, did you regret missing Portugal, knowing that Harry Kane had a what's the word? Qualifying ban?
Quali. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not regretting anything about it.
Oh, fair play, mate. The good mindset to have. And once again, I think you're my driver of the day for sure, along with Azar. You did a fantastic job chopping your way through the field as well, and splitting both Red Bulls up and overtaking Harry Kane. So, and getting past Azar on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Also, when you got towards the line, Hazard was so close. Did you think he outdragged you towards the line?
I sure thought so. My ERS was burning out, so he could have definitely done that if he didn't hit my rear. I think he would have possibly done.
Oh, congratulations, mate, on the win you fully deserve. I'm very happy for you after the spin and the sprint race. And also, Oliver, you got any questions for MDJ?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it all, my man. And if MDJ, yeah, Mikey, if you're going to be there in Silverstone, best of luck. All I can say is against the 2 Red Bulls. Best of luck.
Yes, thank you.
Well, good luck to MDJ, Barry, me and Harry Kane for the British GP. Join us back next Tuesday with me and Oliver.
Please do tune in.
It's the final race of the season next Tuesday at 7:30. Tune us in to get rid of the F123 game as a whole, and it should be an interesting fight. Overall, the Silverstone is a good classic track to fight there, so we'll see how it goes there. But Hazara, will you be joining us in Silverstone next week?
I doubt it, because I think the game comes out that day. I'm not sure, but
No,
we'll see. Maybe.
I don't know when it comes out, so we'll see indeed. But
Next
the
week.
28th.
out to the 8th.
Yeah.
That's Tuesday
It
then.
comes out Tuesday.
So I think at the end of Tuesday, most of these guys will be deleting the game, including me, and going on to F124. So we'll see you all next Tuesday for the final time on F123 and in SFR for the final race of the season in Silverstone.